Hail to thee, my kindred. Mother Nature's trying to murder me right now. It is hot as a furnace. As a furnace. I'm trying to swear just a little bit less. Just a teeny tiny bit less. Tune down the swears. A smidge. A midget amount. Which I don't know how much that is because I don't know how tall a midget is. But if Yuki were here, he'd call me a midget. So, maybe I shouldn't use that word. Anyhow, I hope you're all having a lovely evening or morning or whatever time of day it is. It is truly too warm. Truly too warm. I had to do things today, and by things I mean pack away things because vacationing is to occur in 10 days, I guess, from now. Yes, 10 days. 10 days from today, I think, if I know how to math correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, technically 9. technically 9 days and not 8. But close enough. I'll put on some music wherever I can find it. Let's see. I guess I'll play this version of the song. Oh, no, damn it. I hate when YouTube well, it's not even YouTube. It's literally just my mouse double clicking on things when it is not meant to do that. Like the foolish little thing that it is. I just didn't decide on what the hell I was gonna do today. I was like, yeah, I'll do something. I'll figure it out. And then I didn't, which is not too unusual. I ate another one of those little bars with I already forgot the name of it. Didn't I have one in my hands? I swear I had one in my hands to bring it in here just in case, or maybe I forgot. I had gone to the kitchen. No, I went out of my room with the intention to go to the kitchen, but I didn't end up in the kitchen. I just ended up doing something else completely. Well, that's my own fault. That's my own fault. I should have the fan on, but I don't have the fan on. Because it's not even pointing in this direction, and if I stand it up, it's gonna start whining. It's gonna go wee, 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 wee every time it spins, and that's a nightmare of a thing to deal with. Not lovely. Not lovely at all. My lower back also kind of hurts. Mamma mia. I don't know where that came from. It's been a lot going on lately, not in my own personal life at all, just around the internet. I've been seeing a lot of VTubers like make their debuts, or at least like I know of them, I guess. I didn't watch their debuts, there's too many people, but a couple of new folks debuted, a couple of folks did their, what do you call it? It's not re-debut, it's just they got their 2.0s, that's what they call them, they're 2.0s. So I guess it's kind of a debut. I don't know what you call that. I genuinely don't know. You call it something. Your boy does not know. Is that a pistol with no sights? Sorry, I'm just like scrolling through YouTube as I'm talking about or whatever the hell. And this man just has a pistol with no sights on it. Like no rear sights, no front sights. It's just pistol. That's it. Pistol and no sight. Sight and no pistol. No pistol, no sight. Pistol and sight. I need some fresh air in my lungs. I need to dust my room. That's what I need to do. Because while I was preparing my vacationing clothes, I was like, all sniffly. I didn't make that sound, by the way. Like, I had to think about the word. But I was just very, very sniffly. And I had to go back and forth between the restroom to clean out my poor little nostrils and then coming back to my room and actually packing my bag. I want to eat casino dice specifically. I don't know why. Like dice, like rolling dice, the kind of dice you use for gambling or whatever. Actually, you use dice for like a million and one things, not just gambling. But when I said gambling, I generally just meant games. But like the first thing that pops into my head, kind of like with cards, it's just gambling. That's what most people who play cards or roll dice do, I guess. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm just being stereotypical, which would be rather tarnishing for their reputations. I'm doing that. I do that laugh a lot. That kind of laugh. It's because I'm trying to be quiet. I just inherently have been. It's been beaten into me, I guess. Not literally, but metaphorically, that I ought to be more quiet. So I don't really laugh out loud too often. Not boisterously, anyways. And my tea, I'm gonna probably wait for that thing to cool down until it's about room temperature. And then just swig that thing. Damn, my head kinda itches. Speaking of my head, I've got a lot of facial hair now. I haven't like shaved my beard in not shaved, trimmed my beard in like a couple weeks. It's been too long. I'm gonna have to do that probably today. And then I gotta go wash some strawberries. Well, I'll probably wash the strawberries first when I finish stream, because I was ordered to me by the matriarch. The matriarch before I began streaming. She was like, "You gotta go do that thing," and I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." Yes, ma'am. I shall wash the strawberries with water and baking soda for some reason, and then water again, because that's what she said to do. That's gonna take a while. Washing fruits takes a while. I've been seeing a lot of people play Peak. That seems like a good old hee hee ha game, but my computer would not be able to run that thing. My computer seems to be the type of thing where it's like the parts that are in it, and this is what I get for buying my computer off of eBay, seem to be kind of not at their best condition, I guess. It works well enough for the games that I play and the things that I do, but gosh darn, does it get super hot. Just gets super hot. Now, mind you, I've been told that I need to obtain computer literacy at some point or another. My face is just. Oh, hi! Sorry, I just like blanked out there, premium. The hell to thee, how are you doing? What was I talking about? I had to do some. No, never mind. Never mind. That conversation piece is like long gone. I just stopped talking and like brain fart just occurred. How are you doing? How's your day? My day is going quite alright. Cool background. Thank you very much for the background. The golden fields are very, very. What's the word I'm looking for? Wheatful. Yes. I was gonna say barley, but then I didn't. I forgot what barley means. I don't know what barley is. I'll be honest. I think barley is literally just wheat. Hold on. Barley. Is it? Barley bread. Well, there is a bread that's made with barley. Goodness, I need to, like, not be fading away. Let me see. Barley bread. Just barley. I want to know what barley is. It is a member of the grass family. Major cereal grain grown in. Yep, it's basically just another kind of wheat. Day was not so good. Hope tomorrow will be better. I'm sorry to hear that. I also hope on your behalf that your day goes on to be better, because that is no good. And, well, hopefully the rest of today goes smoother for you. I had to pack things today because I had to get things done for when I go and visit some family members. So that took me, packing things up takes a while longer. Thanks, man. No problem. No problem, man. No problem. I was saying, Yeah, packing things takes a little longer than I thought it would. Even though I didn't pack all that much. Like in theory, I only packed what was it? Like about a week's worth of clothes. Well, yeah, like a week's worth of clothes, and that somehow took me like 2 hours to figure out what to match with what. I was like, because I'm not the type to go out all that much, right? So I don't have a lot of clothes, and so I'm just like scrounging through the clothes that I do have. Like, oh boy, man, what do I even bring? What do I put with what? And then sometimes you pull something out and it's like, oh, I remember wearing this, and then you look at it and it's like, damn, how did these marks get on there? So that was, a bit tedious, but otherwise went kind of smoothly. I've got to vacuum at some point. I'll vacuum tomorrow. I feel like I'm gonna do quite a bit of chores tomorrow. Vacuuming is one of them because there's just stuff all over the floor now. Just because of where I had my what do you call that thing? The freaking thing where you put the clothes in. What time I have now? Time I have? What do you mean by what time do I have? I'm not certain of what you mean by this. Man, I really hope my nose doesn't continue to get all stuffy and weird. I literally got over my nose being stuffy like 2 hours ago. Oh, sorry, your English is pretty poor. That's all right. That's all right. You don't gotta, you don't gotta apologize for having poor English. That's fine. I just kind of didn't understand the question, is all. You can take your time when rephrasing if you want. If you want. If you mean if it's like morning, afternoon, or whatever for me, it's the afternoon. Oh, yours is time zone, time zone. Yeah, I'm in the afternoon right now. Not that late into the afternoon. That would be evening. But yeah, just about like I'm trying to think about this in terms of the sun for some reason. Like, where's the sun right now? Just trying to look out my window. But, like, yeah, just a little bit into the afternoon. It's not too far in there just yet. So, and I haven't really done a lot. Honestly, part of me not having done a lot is just the fact that I didn't sleep too well. So, that was, a little bit oof. Just a little rough, a little rough. Yesterday was the same thing. I don't know why. Recently, I've just been struggling to just fall asleep, but it is what it is. Can't complain too much, though. And then I don't know how to translate the name into English, even, actually. I mean, I don't even know the Spanish name either, but boiled. Part of the meal was like a boiled banana, essentially. Like the green ones, right? Not the normal ones you just eat without cooking because, they're edible the way they are. Like the green ones. Boiled banana with like a type of meat that I kind of forgot where it comes from. I think it's like the neck of the chicken, something like that. I think. I don't remember. I'll be honest. I feel like I should know this though. It's like one of those pieces of information that you deal with every day. But you mentioned Spain. Spanish. Yes, I know how to speak Spanish. That's why I'm trying to think about like what the hell is that thing called in Spanish, but then even if I knew it in Spanish, I wouldn't know it in English either. So either way, I'm kind of I'm kind of cooked. But hey, whatever. It's just the type of meat that I think comes from like a chicken or something. It takes a long while to boil though. So I'm sure it's one of those just very specific pieces of meat. Like I said though, I just don't remember. Don't remember the name. It's pretty good though. And then my brethren had to eat chicken nuggets because he does not eat that meat from the chicken, even though he eats chicken in general. He's very picky about his food, which, I don't blame him. I don't blame him, but it does get a little tedious trying to remember what it is that he is okay with eating and what he's not okay with eating. But hey, that's just what I gotta deal with. And then outside of that, I didn't really watch anybody stream today. I didn't catch anybody that I usually watch because a couple of them just don't stream on the weekends. And anybody that I did catch, well, actually, I did watch one guy. What's his name? Jitseki? I think that's how you say it. It's another VTuber. He's like a dog boy VTuber. I like his model. It's very cute, very cute. Eat everything that is edible and you'll be fine. That's what I do. I eat anything. Like, you hand me food, I don't care. The matriarch will ask me, what do I want to eat? She'll be like, what do you want to eat? And I'll be like, bro, anything. Anything. Just cook whatever. I don't care. I'll eat it. But my brethren, he's picky for reasons. And, that's fine. He's always been that way ever since he was a little guy. I guess it was ever since we were little guys, because we're roughly the same age. He's just a year younger than me, so I say little guy, even though he's taller than me. The rascal, how dare he? How dare he grow to be taller than me? I'm the older one, and he grows to be taller than me. Let me try to take a sip of my tea. It should still be pretty hot, which I hope doesn't overheat me too much. Speaking of which, Premium, you got any foods you particularly enjoy? Any drinks you particularly enjoy, especially in this heat? I don't know why my arm's been kind of hurting when I stretch it out. Probably because it's built weird. My arm is built weird and it's just causing me problems every now and again. The bones at the joint is funny. But my tea is at a good temperature, I'd say. Pretty fine temperature. What is this playlist? Let me see. The next songs are... Actually, I'll skip that song, I think, and go to... this one. There we go. A lot of the songs in this freaking playlist, I just clicked one of the mixes, not Twitch, YouTube gives you. Fried meat plus cheese plus tomatoes, or raw or fried, onion raw or fried, plus natural black bread. That is something I've never heard about, black bread. But the rest, that sounds like a pretty nifty meal. I mean, you can't really go wrong with, fried meat and cheese in the first place. So just adding to, tomatoes and onion, that sounds great. Sounds very filling as well. Let me look up what black bread is. Because I've never heard of it. That is not what I'm looking for. Eggs well too? Yeah. I've always wanted to try one of those, how do I explain it? Like, the breakfast skillets that are they use the iron skillet, and it's just a lot of tomato, onion, egg, it's sort of like a breakfast thing. For drink, beer will be good. Green tea too. You know what? I'm not a big fan of. I know this is a little blasphemous, but I'm not a big fan of beer. I feel like beer's for me personally, alcohol is like medicine, right? I'm drinking it to reach an objective. So I would rather just have some just give me a bottle of whiskey, I'm just trying to get drunk. If I'm drinking alcohol, I'm trying to get drunk. Nothing else. So I'd rather just get to it than like drink beer, because if I drink beer, one, it tastes bad to me, and two, it takes longer to get drunk. so so it's like just hand me like 3 shots in an hour and I'm good. Like but we can both agree on the green tea thing. Looks extremely disrespectfully. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Listen, I'm sure there's some fine beers out there, alright? They're just not my particular caliber of drink. Ah, I do like seltzers, though. Those are pretty tasty, at least for a while. For like the first 30 minutes until you can't taste the sweetness anymore. And I do like a nice margarita, as feminine as some guys think that is. So yeah, those are like the two types of alcohols I like. Either give me whiskey or give me something sweet. No in between. Never taste one? Hmm. Seltzers are alright. I did have an apple cider alcoholic drink once. Only once though. I wish I knew what brand it was. This was years ago because it was actually pretty good. I don't know if you've ever had apple cider. I know some people don't, which to me is weird, but you know, because I feel like apple cider is relatively common. Yeah, cider. Apple cider is pretty good. I don't know where the hell to find the alcoholic kind though. That's like just hard to do. I also forgot that one of the reasons I don't like beer is because it makes me vomit sometimes. And I don't know why. Bad memories with cider? Yikes. You know what? Fair enough. I have bad memories with beer. My computer's being a little noisy. Ah, Dios mío. Is black bread literally just black bread? Hmm. Alright. Sorry, I was still looking up pictures of that just to see what it looked like. What else do I like to drink? Hmm. Well, this isn't an alcoholic drink, but it is a drink nonetheless. And freaking pina colada is pretty good. Pina colada. I don't know if you've ever had a pina colada. I know some people also haven't had some of those, but they're pretty alright. That's more of like a tropical drink though, and not a lot of places often have them. So I don't forgive people. I mean, I do forgive people. I forgive people for not having a pina colada. Hmm. Now I kind of want a burger. I'm not gonna lie. A burger and a pina colada. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth recently. I've been having a lot of sweets the last like week or two. I need to like chill out a little. Chill out. Which is funny because I used to be pretty strict with my like in what's the word? Digestion, my intake of sweets, and now I'm having like a sweet every day for like the past 2 weeks. I'm also beginning to run out of tea, which I need to at some point get some more. Because I'm on my last, how many are in each little packet? I'm gonna say like 5. I think I have like 10 green teas left. And then of my other tea, which is like a chamomile peppermint blend, I actually think I have a bunch of those still left. I don't know how many though, because I haven't taken them out of the container to count them. But I'm just gonna assume I have enough of those. But green tea's running out. Have you ever had peach tea? Rob a tea store? Tea stores are not very common here, unfortunately. I wish they were. Like a dedicated tea shop. That would be kind of cute. But they're not really common here where I am. I can find tea easy enough though if I just am willing to bounce around a couple of stores. Although they'll only sell the like common stuff, which is usually black tea or green tea, and I'm not a big fan of black tea. I'm gonna be honest. Black tea, it's okay. Where is that here you mentioned? Here, where I live. Oh, my hair. Why is my hair so easily falling out? I feel like my hair doesn't stay on my head too often. I'm gonna go bald one of these days. Give it a couple of years. I might just go bald. You'll see bald blotto be permanent. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have not seen bald blotto, so you don't even know who bald blotto is. Bald blotto. This is bald blotto. Bald. That's gonna be me in like 5 years, probably. Which is funny, because the hair on the rest of my body grows like a motherfucker. And then you'll start bioresonate. You're right. I'm going to freaking bioresonate, bro. I'll be gone and far away in the space. That bioresonance shit is still confusing, but hey, whatever. Still interesting lore, I gotta say. Signalis really did have interesting lore, even if it didn't really delve into it all that deep. Like, what little we were given, pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I forget this specific song is like 7 minutes long. Let's see if I can skip to something, or at least prep another song after this one. Yeah, these other couple of songs will be fine, I think. Have you ever had a hiccup go like, not a hiccup, how do I explain this? You ever had like a burp go up, but you're breathing, you're taking in breath, so like the burp just kind of gets stuck in the middle of your chest and it feels like you're dying for a second? Like God's about to take you away? I've had that happen a lot of times, and it hurts. It's like a gas bubble just gets stuck in your chest. It is very unpleasant, I promise you. Because you'll just be there, like, leaning over for a second and trying to figure out, damn, is this it? Am I dying? But then you're fine, like, 10 seconds later. It's like a 10-second recovery period. Big Berry debut. Who the hell is Big Berry? Oh my goodness, I'm already yawning. Sorry about that. That's very common in my streams. I will be yawning forever. I don't think there's been a stream. Actually, there's been like, I think I can count the amount of times I haven't yawned on stream, like on my hands. Honest to God, there is not many streams in which I don't yawn. You think the story is not only about Ariane and Ulster, but also about regime, technology, stagnation due to bioresonate, and so on? Yeah, I mean, like, I think it obviously decides to be very picky because it only tells you about what is relevant. But yeah, I do think like it touches on those, on like, you know, the regime, and I think the stagnation part was really last minute. We'd get the stagnation bit in that last book we get to pick up, or one of the last books. Not the last book, but like I think it's the book you find in the ship. But yeah, it's true enough what you say. I feel like if you had like another game that took place in, I don't even know how you would do that, but if you had another game that took place in like the same, same setting and explored those themes, I feel like that could be pretty darn interesting. But at the same time, it would be a completely different kind of game, so I don't think it would really work inherently. Unless you were just willing to make a completely kind of different game in general. My keyboard is dirty. I need to clean this thing off. I don't know how I'm gonna clean like the in-between spots of my keyboard. That's gonna be difficult to figure out. I guess I could like try to get like a Q-tip and just kind of shove the Q-tip in between the keys. Signalis is the only one you know is this way? Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying there is another game, but... Speaking of which, I kind of can't wait for the startup country. Sorry, Crow Country. That's the other one that I'm gonna start off on Monday, I think. Kind of can't wait for that one because I heard that one's also good. Different kinds of graphics. It's more polygons, but have you tried Bioshock Infinite? I've played Bioshock 1, not on stream, just on my like before I even began streaming. Infinite, Bioshock 1, and I've never played Bioshock 2, but I've seen and know what it's about. The Bioshock games are just they're just good. Atmospherically, story-wise, they're very good. Very, very like I wouldn't mind replaying them on stream. I feel like that would be like still a good time. Maybe, turn up the what's the this not the settings. Difficulty, that's the word I'm looking for. Turn up the difficulty just to make it a little more interesting. Cuz I do feel like the base game is like when you think about it, the base game is kind of easy. Like sure you struggle maybe like with a couple of enemies when they're new, but after that it's or if you get caught off guard, but after that you kind of deal with everything pretty darn easily. And then BioShock Infinite, I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot about Infinite. Infinite Infinite is sort of I know it's iffy with a lot of people because it was very different, but I don't think inherently it was a bad story if that makes sense. Like I feel like the story was all right with Infinite. It's just that it was kind of voting for tomorrow's BioShock stream. Just BioShock funds when. Uh, Actually, let me look up BioShock on Steam. I want to see if I don't think it would be that expensive to buy. I'm not gonna buy it now, but I do want to see how much it cost. BioShock. BioShock 1 is $20. Also BioShock 2 is also $20. Then there's the remastered version. Hold on. Does getting the normal BioShock also give you BioShock Infinite? Sorry, not BioShock Infinite. BioShock Remastered. Yes. Okay, so they're selling them in bundles, both the original BioShock and the remastered version for both BioShock 1 and BioShock 2. Huh. But each set is $20, which, BioShock. Yeah. Listen, that's just how it's pronounced, BioShock. 'Tis not my fault. 'Tis simply the way that it is. What other games are like that? You know what? Even though I can't run it on my computer, I wish I could play Cyberpunk. Knuckles! Hail to thee! How are you doing, ya shump? I don't know why I called you a shump, I'm sorry. I hope your weekend's going easy. English is weird sometimes, that we can all agree on. You're doing good? Has your computadora been fixed yet? Did the battery get replaced and whatnot? Ah. Tea. Very tasty. What other Oh Hello songs are in this playlist? Not a lot, I don't think. Maybe one or two. It's whatever. Not yet, but you're at your grandparents', so even if it was fixed, you can only have it back once you're back home. Only once you're back home? Why, will your grandparents just not let you... They don't let you mess around with your own computer? That's a little funny. You better thank your grandparents for letting you use their computer. I'm assuming you're using your grandparents' computer or something, or just a spare. No, it's very far away. Oh, I see, I see, I see. Understandable, understandable. Gosh, I gotta sit upright. By the way, I finally managed to find like a good place for my mic arm to just be clamped onto, and that's the side of like literally just on my arm of the share, just the share arm. Just I've just finally done it. I'm like, somehow it works now. I feel like I've tried it before and it didn't work out, but for whatever reason, I did this like 2 days ago, and now it works just fine. So now I can just like take off the microphone just from the clamp itself and just place it in front of me on the table when I'm not using it, so that I can actually move around. And when I'm here streaming, I can just like actually sit on my chair like a normal human being instead of being shrimped down like I used to have to be before. We weren't talking much. I mean, we were talking, but not about too much. We were talking about Signalis for a little bit. Bioshock. I imagine you've probably played Bioshock. Or am I wrong about that, Knuckles? Spec Ops The Line? Never played it. But technically, I kind of spoiled it for myself. Because I'm an avid watcher of video essays, and there isn't a video essayist about video games in this planet that hasn't talked about Spec Ops The Line. You've played a bit of it? Only a bit? That's surprising. Which one have you played? Have you played the first one, second, Infinite? One? I see. Well, I suggest you finish it, unless you just didn't like it. In which place, don't play it if you didn't like it. Strongly recommended to play? Yeah? Do they sell it on Steam? Let me see if they do sell it on Steam or not. Do 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 the big iron on his hip. Spec Ops. That's not how you spell ops, you little guy. I don't think they sell it on Steam. I think it's been like not on Steam for a while. They do? Oh, maybe I'm just spelling it wrong. Let's see. Spec Ops The Line. For some reason, it's not showing up. Because I'm pretty sure they did used to. But I'm not seeing it on Steam. So maybe it was one of those that was taken down a long while ago. Because I know Steam did that with a couple of games a long while ago that were like older. Yeah, that's unfortunate if that's the case. I'll just never get to play it. Damnation, I might have to yoink some old Xbox 360 and then and then just get the game for the 360, I guess, because it wasn't a 360. I'm pretty sure, from what little I remember. Almost choked that time. That would have been embarrassing to choke on a whole swallow's worth of liquid. Not the first time I've done it. This would have been the second if it happened. I'm glad it didn't, because all you guys would have heard is just me pseudo throw up and then just cough for like the next 10 minutes. The first man to die from drinking tea. Wouldn't that be an achievement? Yeah, that reminds me. I want to look up some, what was it? NFS Most Wanted? I don't even know what that means. Okay, this is a visual novel. That's not what I was looking for. Listen, you can't make that face, alright? I'm a forgetful guy. We all know this. I'm a forgetful little guy. It's not my fault. Listen, I've probably seen or heard of whatever it is you speak of. Alright? I just forget a lot of things in my life. What in the world is this game? I might play a little bit of later on if I'm feeling like it. What was that game called? That one pseudo bullet hell thing. Gosh, my mouse. I need a new mouse as well. This one's kind of ticking me off a little bit. Okay, what if I put everything right there? Okay, there we go. Now the computer is computering. Let me see if I can find a new playlist real quick. Ooh, my neck. Ah, good old little snap and crackle and pop of my neck. And we're back to normal. Sure, play that. Now I gotta drag everything around on my screen again. My OBS is all the way down there. It's not supposed to be in Narnia. What was the game I was even talking about playing for like a second before I got this whole thing messed up? Pika Unit, that one's the one. Because I kind of want to continue Pika Unit Dreams just to see how far I can get. Because I keep dying on like the way to try and fight the third boss. Ah. What are other people doing on this planet? Anything interesting happen? Because all I've heard is not so good, interesting things happening lately. I want to know if things are happening that are good, joyous, even delightful, perhaps. Let's see. Why is this dog so shaggy? My goodness. What was that game somebody recommended to me yesterday? I'm pretty sure I have it in my wish list anyhow. So I don't know why I'm asking. Do 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 do. Fun fact? Tell us thy fun fact. And if it's not fun, then you shall be sent into the dungeon, and you will deal with the dungeon people and the rats and whoever else is down there. I hear inhuman screams at times. GOG are increasingly based and just gave away 15 free games to protest all the censorship going on. Mostly porn games, but still, oh yes. I think I've heard about that one in particular. And I know itch.io is kinda working their way back to having their games, they're like some of their... I think it's only the ones that are free though. They've put back up, I should say. Ow, sorry, I smacked my mic right there. The only ones that ain't porn games are Agony and Postal 2. You need to play Postal 2? Oh, goodness. Are you sure I'm not gonna get canceled for that? What am I saying? I can't get canceled. I'm cancel proof. Everything will be fine. If you don't play Postal 2, you will turn into a Goomba. That is a very specific thing to turn into. I'm not gonna lie. A Goomba of all things? Why a Goomba? You know what's also funny? The fact that Postal 1 is like a top-down shooter type of thing, and then Postal 2 is the first-person one, right? Because do you want to be a Goomba? I suppose you are correct. I wouldn't want to be a Goomba. Being a Goomba does not inherently feel like a good thing to be. And yeah, Postal 2 is the first person? Nice. Good to know my head is correctly on my shoulders. I don't know why I said that phrase, and I'm pretty sure I said it incorrectly. Because the phrase is, you have a good head on your shoulders, so that doesn't really apply to oneself. You can pee on demand. True! Very true. I'm sure somebody's into that. Not me, though. So you won't probably see me peeing on people, or animals, or anything else. Maybe. Oh, my goodness gracious. Me when I yawn 500 times in a second. I am the yawner, but I have to lock in. I can't yawn anymore. With eyes without a face. Who is that? Okay. What is this? What was this about? When did this happen? Hold on. I'm pretty sure this is like an old image or something, but uh why is the trout? Let me see. Why is the trout spinning? The trout is spinning. I actually don't know. You should ask him. It doesn't really talk to me anymore. It's been a while since I've heard his lovely voice from the great beyond speak to me, but I don't know, he's just gonna been there forever. This is just his thing. He just spins. El Pescado enjoys to spin. But also, Healthily, welcome! I hope you're having a lovely weekend, and hopefully a cooler weekend with a AC on, and perhaps some colder beverage slash treat, or just straight up eating ice if that's your thing. Wouldn't trout get sick from spinning? I am unsure as to the biology of trout in the natural form, but this thing's kind of not normal, as you can promptly see right next to me. Ice would be... You would love some ice? I too would love some ice, I'll be honest. Drown it? How? How would you drown trout? Like, unless you put it in the wrong kind of water, I don't see how you drown a trout. And even that technically isn't drowning. It's put it in water? Knuckles, it's still a fish. I know it's not natural, but it's still a fish. It wouldn't be enough? Exactly. See? Zoko's with me on this one. We need to hold it underwater. Oh, now you two are on the same page and I'm the one being fought against. Actually, actually, damn, there's something in my eye. Please, by the gods' will, can you get out of my eye? I'm safe and sound. The thing has been gone from the eyeball, which is good to have, not in my eye, because if it were in my eye, that would just be annoying. Hey, if you hold trout underwater, you're sure it will try to escape? Well, I mean, yeah, if you're holding it, it doesn't want to be held. Would you wish to be held unconsensually by a stranger? I don't think so. The only reason water absorbs oxygen is when it's actively moving. So if you put a fish in still water, it will eventually get no oxygen, or not have enough oxygen. Well, aren't you somebody that knows your chemistry? Question mark? Especially not underwater. Point proven. Exactly. I speak for El Pescado when I say he does not want to be held. Probably. He might be freaky and I don't know it. I got no clue. This guy's kind of weird sometimes. How many fish did you drown before? That's right. With this information, and you're wanting to drown el pescado, at least four. Golly. I hope you see a psychiatrist, especially if you drowned these fish when you were a child. Ah, there goes the tea. You know suspiciously a lot about drowning trouts. Exactly what I was thinking. What was the image I was gonna show you guys? Oh yeah, this one. Let me pull it up actually. Bow, wow, wow, wow. It's that guy from. Oh, Whoops. Uh. Okay. Move this back. Cause I did not even mean to do that. Okay. How do I do this without fucking things up? My mouse is not being compliant with me again. I'm just trying to show a simple photograph. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna get a new mouse at some point, I swear to God. I don't know when, but at some point. On a sadder note, the reason you know this is because your father has a barrel full of fish, and eventually they started jumping out and dying, and he figured out that they lacked the oxygen, and the jumping out was them looking for oxygen. That sounds terrible and sad. I agree with your assumption that it is a sad tale. It's not an assumption, it is fact. That is a sad tale. I don't know why I described it as an assumption. It was not an assumption, it is reality. This was the one I wanted to show off. But it's the guy from the one channel where he reviews food, and it's just him in his fucking car, and then Xbox commenting, guys, he just got kicked out. Look at it, look, there's a bed in the back, and he's just like, I still have a good relation with my folks. I just have to keep moving. I just have to keep moving, bro. When did this happen? What is the context to this? I mean, I know the context, but like, why did he say it like that? He makes it sound like he's some kind of he is what's that meme people always fucking use about like the guy that plays the main character in ed not in fucking what's that one cyberpunk movie. The context is he likes moving. Yeah, but like it feels sad. He's like, I just have to keep moving. I have to keep moving. Like, bro, relax. Like, what's going on? I don't think I've watched many of that guy's videos in my existence. I know of him, and he is an icon. He is what one would call an American treasure by some standards. Just keep swimming like Dory or Trout. True enough. Okay, I have to like do the magic trick where I disappear for a second, because my computer is getting sassy with me. A real American gooner? He is not a gooner! What are you talking about? He's a fine gentleman. Do not slander his name. He is a fine gentleman of the utmost gentlemanly order. You swear you're not that weird? Usually you just had a long day at work. Oh, that's fine. Weirdness is completely fine here, but funny? True enough. The liberation of gooning must occur. We all must goon as free men. I don't know why I'm laughing at that stupid little joke. I'm thinking of something. Give me a second. When you have to nail your cock to a board because you're bored. Damn, that's a little aggressive. I would think nailing your wiener to a board seems a little bit excessive. I shan't lie. I would not recommend such straightforward action, but if that's just what you want to do, I'm not gonna stop you. I just recommend it not to do that, for it is quite abrasive. It finds it grows back. Listen, I understand that the wiener is a muscle, but you can't just like do such things. Why do you torture poultry? No pain, no gain. Ah, goodness gracious, poultry. What a word to use. I know what it means, but that cock. Colonel. Colonel. I can't even I can't even make the joke I wanted to make. By the way, the mean girls are back at it again. And by that I mean Shy Lily is still doing Shy Lily things, if any of you care. I don't, but I'm just scrolling through one of the the drama people I keep up with semi regularly. Because I got nothing else to do, apparently. The locking in has not worked. She's. I wish I could get a bunch of she's. What does Shy Lily do besides being a woman? Uh, you can watch trout spinning around. True, you can watch trout spinning around. Apparently, you know how like there was the whole Cinder situation and whatever. So apparently, that nanoless person was like a part of it, and now like she's kind of like the VTubing gals tend to be kind of high school types of petty, right? So like she apparently got a model from nanoless and like sorta threw shade at Cinder again. And it's like, how long has it been since the whole Cinder situation? So, I guess that's not anything new because that is just woman being woman. But I don't know. I feel like, damn, like, why do we gotta keep rehashing this again and again? It's been months at this point, I think. I could be misremembering. I wish I could just be woman, but that's not plausible. The closest I'll ever get is being femboy. Or I could just pull a. Who's that one person that has like a lady model? The porcelain like doll guy. Oh, I say doll guy, but the model's not a guy model. Wanna see funny videos on orangutans? Sure. Why not? Why not? Let me go here. I gotta do this right here. Link in new tab. Oh, from freaking Casual Geographics. I haven't really seen his videos outside of like back when I used TikTok. Oh boy, it's an essay. Kinda. Slight essay. Let me go to this one. And then go over here. Then go here. This one? There we go. I forget that I gotta play it on the other one on my freaking OBS thing because this one's not loud enough. Let me restart that. Funny orangutan videos. I'm sure this will be not ominous in any way, shape, or form. Let me do a little, the little. There we go.
Giant ginger tree hippies don't always choose peace. But in 2014, one shocked scientists when she not only orchestrated the life canceling of another,
Oh.
she essentially hired a hitman to do it. The hairy honey trap was executed by a young female named Condor.
We're gonna
and the
regret
victim
watching it
was
tonight.
a mother 20
Maybe.
years older named Sidoni. Living in the swamp forests of Indonesia's Mawas Reserve, the two had beef going back all the way to 2009, with Condor curiously approaching Sidoni's at the time 7-year-old daughter, and Sidoni defensively smacking and biting Condor before chasing her off. The perceived insolence stuck with Condor, and the disrespect was tattooed into her psyche.
God damn, he just pushed him for no reason. I want to see that again though. That shit's kind of funny.
Perceived insolence stuck with Condor, and the disrespect was tattooed into her psyche. She was not letting that slide. Years later, Condor would catch the eye of a male named Echo, and the two would eventually run into Sidoni. They both approached, and Echo seemed to inspect Sidoni, who was now jockeyed by her 4-year-old son. Echo seemed curious in the mother, before losing interest and proceeding to mate with Condor right in front of Sidoni. Call it passion or power play, but either way, when Sidoni tried exiting the situation, Condor escalated, ending the lovemaking and savagely beating Sidoni. But what blew researchers away was Echo going from bystander to participant. For 33 minutes, the two took turns beating on Sidoni, sometimes together, sometimes just Condor, with Echo blocking off any escape routes. It was an honest to Abe jumping, and his much larger canines meant Echo inflicted the bulk of the damage. The pair didn't stop until a fourth orang, a male named Guapo, chased Echo off and ran defense for Sidoni before mating with her. The Orange Night would be too late, as a little over 2 weeks later, Sidoni became past tense due to her injuries, and scientists were left wondering what they had just witnessed.
Literally just first they just start lovemaking in front of her, then she tries to get away, they beat on her, then the other guy comes around, chases him off, love makes with her, and she dies 2 weeks later of the injuries. Animal Kingdom be wild. You feel like you need to take notes not to get lost? Me too. This is like straight up the strangest. Imagine this happened with people. just with people instead of animals. It would be equally as bizarre. But I feel like with the animals, it's just more so. Because you would think they just... it will be a reality show. It feels like a reality show, to be honest. This is a very strange K-drama.
Over 26,000 hours of observation, only 6 female and female attacks were recorded, and none caused serious injuries. Yet here was a spiteful orang leveraging her carnal currency, specifically to erase one of her rivals, and Echo acting as a hired gun. Premeditated and personal, it was a shockingly dark look into the intelligence of the Forest Man, one that begs the question, just how smart are they, and just what could they be capable of? To say orangutans are intelligent is honestly disrespectful, cause this tree-happy ginger ape is damn near human. That is an animal that can 100% speak. They just really don't want to deal with taxes, and that's only partially a joke.
Netflix adaptation.
Their name, orangutang, literally translates.
Are we sure we want to see a Netflix adaptation? Think about that one. Think about it, cause there's only one Netflix adaptation that turned out any good, and that was probably the One Piece adaptation. That's about it, and I didn't even watch that. All I've heard is good about it though, but that's like the only Netflix adaptation I've ever heard anything good about.
To Man of the Forest, because locals swore they were plus-size people that chose not to speak because they know then they'd have to get jobs. In 2014, a court in Argentina actually granted human rights to Sandra the orangutan after 20 years of captivity. Here's a cute saying that goes, if you give a chip a screwdriver, it'll use it as a weapon. A gorilla would accidentally break it. A bonobo would become the screwdriver, but an orangutan, he'd hide it, use it to dismantle his cage, and then let all his friends out. There's a bunch of reasons for this brainy Bigfoot, and one of them is them being the biggest mama's boys on Earth. No other mammal spends more time with its mother.
Source of material is too good to make it bad.
Too, and often
maybe,
over 10
but
years
knowing
of
Netflix,
shadow,
like, come on.
orangs learned everything about how to orangutan. Not only that, but daughters often live around their moms even after having their own baby. This means orangutans are one of the few animals that have a legitimate culture, and what we see is a sum of generational wisdom passed down. In 2022, a notorious Sumatran male named Raucus was seen using a medicinal plant to help heal a face wound he'd gotten in a fight. The 30-something-year-old applied the chewed-up paste of the akar kuning, an anti-inflammatory, antibacterial flowering plant traditionally used to treat malaria and diabetes. Raucus applied the paste for 7 minutes until it covered his wound, and 5 days later, it was completely healed. It's
Well,
not the
damn.
first time we've seen animals
Bro's kind of
self-medicate.
smart.
Parrots will eat clay to detox from all the leaves, and elephants will apparently eat certain plants to induce labor.
Did he just say the birds need to detox from the leaves? What the hell did the leaves got in them in the first place? How many leaves do they eat in order to need to detox? That sounds goofy as hell. I didn't know bird. I mean, I guess it's a specific kind of plant. You're not really sure. You're not sure you're ready for the knowledge. Orangutans are wiser than your coworkers. Listen, it just. Listen, I don't think they're inherently wiser. They're just wise enough to make us question things. That's how I feel about it. At the very least, they're wise enough. They're wise enough to make us question things, but I don't think they're like inherently that wise. And it's bad anyway. I'll take your word for it.
But what made rockets so radical is the simple fact that they rarely eat that plant to begin with. There's more evidence of orangs self-medicating with the same plants used by locals, and it's likely this knowledge was taught, and not by humans. Mothers will even teach their young to have the same preferences for food, so that when they get older, they can forage in the same area without directly competing with all the other mother-child pairs. Another thing this citrus simian is smart enough to understand is calculated reciprocity. In this viral video, you see this man Vitaly trade snacks with a zoo orangutan. Not only did the hairy haggler refuse until he understood that he'd be getting something back, I swear you can see him check for zookeepers. If it sounds like a stretch, it's scientifically proven this untaxable entity understands the concept. Two orangutans at the Leipzig Zoo in Germany were given 3 different tokens and quickly learned that they could exchange one type for bananas for themselves.
You gotta understand orangutan economy, right? That'd be interesting just to see what they see as valuable, even if it's just food. Just what kind of food? Maybe it's just like as simple as their preferred meal. They'll like keep a little bit of it to the side and just be like, here, you're watching videos? I am. We are learning about orangutan today, thanks to Knuckles. But hail to thee, Yuki. I hope you're having a cool Saturday and definitely not a warm one.
The second token type would earn bananas for the other orang, and the third type had no monetary value whatsoever. At first, the female, Dok, had no problem exchanging tokens to get the male, Bim, bananas. But Dok realized Bim wasn't really returning the favor, so she became a lot less generous. That gave Bim enough of an attitude adjustment to start trading his tokens more, until their efforts became closer to equal. There's another story of a zoo orangutan taught to exchange any trash he found in his enclosure for a food reward. Except he then realized if he just returned the trash in pieces, that would just mean more food for him, which was unfortunate when the trash was someone's phone, and tragic when it turned out to be a formerly alive possum. But what exactly is it that makes orangutan so smart? Well, the superpower
is he stands up like that though. He's got a show vibe to him, He's just like, just leaned back while he's standing up a little bit. You can kind of see like a little bit of a curve, a little bit of a lean back. That's a person. It wouldn't be that hard to convince me. I'll be honest. Bro's just chilling. He's just like looking around. Don't hurt yourself. It's too late. Damn. Brain fizzled out.
How they learn. When orangutans are spending all that time with their mothers, they learn everything they need to by watching and copying. Even after they leave, young males will find an older, phalangeed male to use as a role model.
Phalangeed meaning the sheik's pads mature. Dominant males develop when they reach their that age status. Okay, so their sheiks go wider, I guess, when they get older. At least the males.
Learning how to be an alpha male by mimicking everything he does. Mimicry is how they learn, and that learning creates cultures. It's scientifically proven when resources are good, orangs spend more time around each other and more time peering.
Real orangutans are extinct. Those are just humans in disguise. Propaganda everywhere. It's like when zoos try to make like panda exhibits, and it's just like not even a panda. It's just some poor dog painted like to look like a panda.
Watching. Observing the other orangs. It's not just people watching, it's gathering intel, and they don't just do it to each other. Orangs regularly learn things just by watching the humans around them. This male was seen attempting to catch fish after clocking locals doing it, and one female, Supina, tried starting a fire by dipping a glowing stick in kerosene, blowing on it, and even rubbing it with another stick.
Damn.
But this shadow clone jutsu can be wildly inconvenient. Camp Liki is an orangutan research and rehabilitation reserve where the Auburn apes have plenty of opportunities to study humans right back, leading to the trend of orangutans untying canoes from the dock and stealing them, and not even triple or quadruple knots can discourage them. Fun fact, it takes about a 7-hour canoe ride to get to camp, so one documentary crew decided to save time with a speedboat. They lost that time after a redman stole the boat and left them stranded.
They got Grand Theft Auto'd by a damn orangutan. Bro said, I'm taking that boat. That one looks fancy as hell. That one's fancy. I like that. Are you an orangutan saying that to be treated like a human? Oh, you're not answering that unless you give him a banana. I don't know. Bananas are kind of expensive. Bro really said mine. He's on that shit. Look at him.
The power of perception has taught O-rings how to breastfeed, drive, and even saw wood, all from watching
Bro's
a
a
human.
carpenter.
Instead, O-rings have the intelligence of a 4-year-old.
But look at that. Like, he's with the amount of sawdust on that, like, you know, on that patio or whatever. Like, bro's sawed pretty deep in there.
But I've yet to see a toddler that did its own laundry. Now you're seeing what I'm saying. Bro's smart enough to talk, wise enough not to. And she's only sawing like that so we don't catch on. But what if I told you there's an even higher level of intelligence they can get to? Deception. Deception requires foresight and anticipating the actions or thoughts of another party. That's where intelligence can get scary. If orangutans have the capacity,
like that grip that man had on that other one. Like, look at this shit. He just comes over covered and just
requires
freaking
foresight and anticipating the
grips
actions
on
or
that
thoughts of
motherfucker.
another party. That's where intelligence can get scary. If orangutans have the capacity to trick us, we're talking about a whole different ballgame. Which brings us to the story of Fu Manchu. Now we're talking about an orangutan outsmarting humans, and it happened in the 60s in Omaha Zoo in Nebraska. I know, nothing ever happens in Nebraska. One day, zoo director Jerry Stone was doing his rounds when a couple keepers ran up to him. Panicking, they told him not one, but 5 orangs had escaped and were roaming the zoo. This was not good. Like all apes, an orang outside is a code red situation, and a starting lineup of them walking amongst people was a canon event begging to happen. All it would take was a human or orang getting too curious for it to be a bad time for everyone, and Jerry sprinted to them before anything could happen, and he found them just chilling. Yeah, Jerry was greeted by 5 fugitives just people watching in the elm trees by the elephant building. Clearly all they wanted to do was visit the zoo like everyone else. But you can't just have several hundred pounds of primate in public unsupervised, so Jerry literally went up the tree, grabbed an orang by the hand, and led them all back to the exhibit with no resistance.
Jerry just said, come on guys, we gotta go.
Jerry was less gentle with his staff, and let it be known that another mistake like that and someone would get pink slipped straight into unemployment. Clearly Stone made his point, because nothing like that would ever happen again. Until next week, when it happened again. Yup.
Nothing like that would happen again until the next time it happens. 0 days since incident type of event. Imagine being the poor zookeeper who had to explain that shit the second time. I bet you they were all huddled around the phone being like, who's gonna call him? Like, it's not gonna be me. I'm not calling him. You gotta call him, bro. He'll know it's me. It's like that that one scene from I don't even know if it's like Breaking Bad or if it's the other one where you have Walter White talking to like the fucking lawyer guy. He's like, you have to call him. He'll know it's me.
Somehow, some way, orangutan gang got out again. No one got hurt. They actually went to the exact same spot in the trees. But a troop of tangerine men exercising free will is a nightmare for zoo PR. And this time, Jerry was ready to give someone permanent PTO. Because no shot someone went through all that school and debt just to not close a furnace door. So imagine what went through Jerry's mind when the tans got out again. But this time, there was a catch. I used to think you'd only hear this line in a movie, but nah, someone actually ran up to Jerry and said, "You gotta come see this." And he wasn't wrong. You see, in the orangutan exhibit, there was a moat, and down at the bottom of that moat was a furnace door. And sure enough, they caught one of the males, Fu Manchu, fiddling with the door. They were watching from a distance so Fu wouldn't see them, but they couldn't see exactly what Fu was doing. All they knew was suddenly the door flew open and Usain Bolt felt a disturbance as these men broke the sound barrier running down to stop them. So now the solution was simple. Clear the enclosure of anything that could be used to escape and do it daily. And sure enough, the orang breakouts came to an end. For about a week until it happened again.
Why is it
Jerry
a
wasn't
week?
even mad. just
Bro.
tired. Remember, he was a zoo director, and these Mandarin menaces were monopolizing his life. And
Bros are just like planning their weekly escape. This is just like their routine now. Once a week, these motherfuckers are gonna try to get out, and every time they're gonna get deeper and deeper, like out of their enclosure, and Jerry's just gonna have to get his ass out and get the damn orangutans back, put him back in there. that one prison anime, basically. That it's literally that.
it was while perp walking Fu Manchu, who just had to have the biggest eating grin. Jerry noticed a glimmer out the corner of his mouth. He pulls it out and it all becomes clear. Out was a 4-inch piece of wire bent like a horseshoe that Fu Manchu had stashed between his lower lip and gum. The very hairy Houdini had been using it as a lockpick for weeks and hiding it in his oral wallet. No one taught Fu. Not only did he orchestrate his own emancipation, he had the foresight to realize he couldn't have the key out around keepers or else it'd get confiscated. Fu Manchu would be named an honorary member of the Locksmith Union of the United States, and Jerry Stone would go on to work with several other interesting apes, including a gorilla named Harambe.
Oh.
Fu Manchu wouldn't be the
Harambe.
last, or arguably the most creative. 27-year-old Carter used a stick to short-circuit an electric wire and then used a bunch of
course.
sticks as a ladder to climb out her enclosure. She then just sat and enjoyed the view for 30 minutes until her keepers pulled up with tranquilizers, at which point she just went back in. Last year, Kimbali broke out of an
They pull up with tranquilizer. She's like, damn, gotta go back. I'm not getting shot. I'm not getting shot for this.
$11 million habitat in Toronto by cartwheeling past a wire barrier. Mind you, that habitat opened up the summer before. Bro flexed on them 11 million ways. The important thing
She
is,
didn't
in
want
none of
to
these
smoke,
cases
she did
do you
not.
see an
She did
orang
not.
get out with malicious intent. Most times they just cosplay as people. But what if one did have beef and you
Worst part is that humans aren't smart enough to do that. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you're right. But this is the elf saying slander against humans. So, Yuki elf, you're not allowed to talk about people. Funny monkey, funny monkey. Not this one though. If I saw this monkey, I'd be not thinking that it's funny. I'd be thinking it's terrifying, actually. Quite frightening, Imagine getting ran up on. Oh, I just did something. I didn't even mean to click there. I clicked the wrong thing. Don't meh. You're allowed to do anything you want. You don't need permission. What if I said you did? What if I said pretty please? What if I put a sherry on top?
use his powers for malfeasance? This is Ken Allen. It's the most famous name in orangutan lore, and you wouldn't even know the name if his mother Maggie had succeeded in smothering him before he even got it. He'd be
Damn.
named after the two zoo officials that would raise him instead, Ken Willingham and Ben Allen. As a baby, he'd soft launch his shenanigans by regularly unscrewing the bolts of his crib and dismantling it. And once he got too big for a crib, keeper Joanne Thomas would take him around the zoo in a
Pretty
stroller.
please, what
a
are you, a bottom? Shush.
decision that arguably cost the zoo thousands. 5 days after moving into his new enclosure, June 13, 1985, Ken climbed a wall and got out. Years before, folks caught Ken building a DIY ladder out of some branches.
Not a
One thing I
ladder.
didn't mention is living in the trees full time means orangutans literally make their beds every single night. Up to 20,000 in a life. Clearly the craftsmanship carries on. Ken Allen spent his freedom wandering the zoo, taking pictures with patrons, before getting escorted back. Not a great thing to happen, but no one got hurt, the wall he scaled got extended, and surely this wouldn't happen again. July 29th of that year, Ken
Surely
found
they
a way
won't
out again,
escape
but
for
this
like the
time,
fifth
his
time.
intentions weren't pure. You see, there was another orang, Otis. Ken did not like Otis.
Oh, he's
Ken
gonna
Otis.
scrap
He
with
hated him
Otis.
so much that they actually had to be separated because orangs might be an endangered species, but as long as they are roommates, Otis was an endangered individual. So when Ken escaped a second time, he went
As long as they're roommates, Otis is an endangered individual. That kind of goes hard. I'm not gonna lie. That kind of goes hard. Like you gotta hate your own kind that bad. It's like, god damn, what did Otis do to this man? What did Otis do to deserve this hate from his fellow orangutan?
straight for Otis's corner and chucked rocks at him. That premeditated stoning put him in solitary confinement, but I'm sure Ken will tell you it was worth it. But the reason for the beef might have been jealousy. Otis was the breeding star of San Diego, with nearly 10 kids and 3 wives.
I
Ken
see.
hated him as a concept, so the zoo gave him 4. And of course that backfired, when Ken started teaching them how to disrespect infrastructure too. One day, someone left a crowbar in the enclosure, and instead of using it while everyone watched, he just tossed it aside, like he didn't even care. An actual orang move, except he threw it to a female named Vicky, and she used it to pry open a window and free them both.
God
Also,
damn.
Otis wasn't the only victim. Apparently, he took offense to a TV crew filming a documentary on gorillas and pelted them with rocks, until he ran out of rocks and started using cannonballs from his colon. Ken was so crafty.
I like that piece of film he just showed. Just this one orangutan having beef with these poor little dudes. They're just like doing their thing.
Ken was so crafty.
Hold on, can
employees
we see
would
that again?
documentary on gorillas and
He's
pelted them with
trying to-
rocks
trying to
until he
get
ran
him
out
away.
of rocks and started using cannonballs
get
from
outta
his
here,
colon.
get outta here.
Ken was so crafty, employees would only have a chance of studying him if they dressed like regular guests, cause Ken would never incriminate himself if someone in uniform was around. Ken would break out a few more times, never hurting anyone, except Otis. He did once approach a child and mumble, "No one will ever believe you," before walking away, and if you doubt that, your disbelief makes his legacy stronger. His legacy was he cost the zoo over $40,000 in zoo enhancements, undercover
$40,000.
surveillance, electric wiring, and even hired rock climbers to find every possible finger, foot, and toe hold. But he likely made that back and more, with all the PR Ken Allen brought to the zoo, just by being himself. But except for Otis, who, let's be real, must have done something to deserve it, Ken Allen never used his intellect to inflict violence. Bro just wanted a vibe. But what could an orang with a human grudge do? There's a story of an orangutan actor hating his trainer and waiting until the two were alone up in a tree, where Pierre strangled his human op and threw him to the ground. But the only proof is the obscure article I couldn't find a source for. Plus, Pierre was probably in the right. Now, Joe's revenge was more than just a story. Joe was an orangutan that appeared in over 100 movies by 1919. This was a time where there were no laws against capturing, selling, and even killing wild orangutans. Universal Studios would take full advantage, and as cute as he was as a toddler, things changed once he became a teen. There would be several incidents with Joe, including a lawsuit where a security guard claimed Joe had mauled him with over 40 bites. There was another time he escaped, and when police pulled up to catch him, Joe stole an officer's gun.
Bro, he's got a revolver, bro. Bro said, "I'm taking this." And he literally looks like he caught somebody in the room, and he's about to start blasting it. Like he's fucking mad, bro. Who managed to get? I don't even know if this is like a real picture or just like a representation of what the hell happened, but like either way, they can you imagine that, being that photographer, assuming this particular thing is real, that just catches a freaking orangutan with a revolver? Just that's gotta be a wild shot to take. Human cruelty, yeah, we be like that.
But the most infamous case was Joe breaking out of the Universal Zoo, serving straight chaos for 3 days, and even releasing 15 wolves and his elephant friend Charlie.
Releasing 15 wolves and freeing his friend Charlie, the fucking elephant. Bro is literally Caesar. He's literally Caesar. Like, you can't. He's Caesar, but for every animal.
On the way out. But Joe did seem to have a code. Not only did he never attack women or children, he'd often defend them. One scene had an actor pretend to spank a child, but because Joe don't play pretend with the little ones, the orang went O-line and leveled the guy. Another scene had Joe's character help rob a lady, but when good guy Joe saw the villain looming over her, Joe folded his clothes, with him in them. By 1924, Joe was retired from show business after being deemed too dangerous to work with. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's Team Joe over here.
Yeah,
but there's
Joe-
an even
Joe
darker side to
scraps.
orangutans. So dark that I'ma just drop this. Here's an ad while you consider your options.
Joe was a scrapper, apparently. Joe's based, yeah. He said one actor pretending to like spank a kid, and Joe said, "Nah, not on my watch, bro." Bro was not letting that slide. Shit, dude.
Birute Galdeques is a primatologist and one of the leading experts on orangutans, and in the 70s, she arrived at Camp Liki in Tanjung Putin National Park, where she was immediately warned by native Indonesians that some male orangutans can find humans attractive and occasionally physically and forcefully act on it.
Oh,
she didn't
Jesus.
believe it until a male walked into camp one day and violated a female cook, and even multiple people trying to wrestle him off couldn't stop the salacious onslaught. It's now advised
Jesus
that menstruating
Christ.
women either avoid orangs or walk around with a club. So as you can see, orangutans are capable of anything from petty theft and zoo escapes all the way to premeditated census layoffs. But honestly, they could and should be way worse. An orangutan has never been on record murking a man, and some have had very good reasons. Joe Martin had every good reason, and the fact that he died with no body says more about his kind. The strong mom bond means Joe's mom was almost certainly destroyed for him to be taken. Joe suffered all manners of neglect, including electrical burns from wires, eye damage from the constant stage lights. He was given cigars and alcohol which ruined his health, and he was even knocked out by former heavyweight James Jeffries. All without never really interacting with another orang. Joe going through all
That's
that
sad
and
as
never
hell.
severely maiming someone is our entire relationship with orangs in a nutshell. We have done far more to them than for them, in worse ways than you think. I can't even say what this one went through, just know her name is Pony and her story is not for the weak. Orangutans as a whole are a victim of humanity, and the worst part is what happens when they're gone. Once all the orangs in an area are gone, all the generational knowledge of how to live there dies with them. It's not just a species, it's an entire culture that goes extinct, with no way of bringing it back. So what can you on your phone, computer, or TV do? One is obviously support an organization that helps with research and rehabilitation, which is why I'll be donating to Orangutan Foundation International, founded by
Yay!
Galdicus herself. Link
Donations!
down below if you'd like to as well. Also, never support a place that uses orangutans as tourist traps. Any place that lets you pay to play with an orangutan is a huge red flag. But probably the best way is to avoid palm oil. Palm oil is the leading cause of their extinction, and it's in 50% of household products in the West. It's a commitment, but it's looking like we either
50.
give up the oil or negotiate the red ape's existence. The
What
choice
the
is
hell are
yours.
people
Just know
using
you're
that
right.
has palm oil in it? I don't even. It's like, what items have fucking palm oil in them? Jesus Christ! It's like 50% of household products have palm oil in it. Damn. We out here like just environment gone for fucking I don't even know what.
Orangutans would probably do the same for us. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this
Palms,
video. But first,
of
I wanna
course.
thank y'all. If you remember my elephant sanctuary video, then you know that the park actually flooded a month after I visited. A flood that cost 2 rescued elephants their lives. But you guys came through with the donations, and Miss Lek Chyler was so grateful, they actually made a cake with my name and gave it to the elephants. And seeing my favorite animals eating out of my namesake cake would have been impossible without you guys. So
Aw.
thank you all. Hopefully one day I can do the same for Camp Leaky. But until then, drink water, hug your mother. If an orangutan hits you, apologize, because you deserved it. And I'm
If an orangutan hit you, apologize because you deserve it. That's out of pocket, but you know what? That was a good video. That was a pretty nice video. Sad as hell in the last bit there, and terrifying to know some of the things they can do and are willing to do. Like, holy moly. Orangutans are based and funny, except when they're not. Unlike the very few occasions that they're not, they are not, in fact, based and funny. But sometimes, yes, very based, very funny. Can you get palm oil if you squeeze your hands? I don't believe that's how palm oil works, Yuki. I think you're thinking about another kind of palm oil. What am I doing? What am I doing? Sweating is what I'm doing. I need to get some water, but I'll do that in a few minutes. If you guys want to keep watching videos, I'm cool with that. Like, we can keep watching videos. I mean, the situations where they were not funny is probably deserved. Yeah, like Joe being mistreated to hell and back. Obviously, like, him scrapping with some of the actors, fair enough. Let me move the chat a little bit. There we go. Now you can see the letters. How are you gonna make the shillest apes angry? I don't know. You gotta be a certain kind of human being in order to just mistreat animals in general. It's like, it's strangle worthy. You know what I mean? Like, some of these people ought to be strangled by apes specifically. You have a funny video, but about honey badgers, but I won't see it. Then what's the point of telling me about the honey badger video if I'm not gonna be able to see it? What's the point of that? What do you mean I don't get to see it? You're gatekeeping honey badgers? Impossible. Unbelievable. To make me angry? Well, you've successfully angered the Jolly. Jolly has been angered. And Jolly's also sweaty as hell. I don't know why. It's just in Ukrainian? Oh, I see. You know what? Fair enough. I cannot understand the language of Ukraine. Mouse, stop doing that to me. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was doing something, scrolling, clicking, and then my mouse just decides to double click at random because it's a little finicky little piece of technology. I'm just vibing. I'm vibing real quick. Sorry about that. Just vibing. We'll get back to something. Rar. I like how that's what you say when you got nothing else. Just rar. Just rar. You two better not start roaring at one another for like the next 5 minutes. I still remember that. I still remember that when you and Knuckles just started going rar back and forth. It's like watching two dogs bark with the gate between them separating the two. You ever seen those videos where there's just like two dogs barking at one another, and then like the person opens the gate and the dogs just chill out for like just to show they're both just not brave. You gotta be kidding me. I was just about to go to the restroom and then my brother and I just hear him go in there. Rascal. I'm gonna have to look for another mix. What is? Oh, this is the playlist I've heard one time. Playlist. It's not really a play. I mean, it's a playlist video, but it's called "She Left." But at least the Stroganoff bowl is safe, and it's just a bunch of like melancholic, sad music. You know the funny crocodiles from Donkey Kong? What about them? I mean, I know like the one with the crown, the king one. What is this? Another link. Another one. Let me copy that. And then check this out over here. The funny crocodile. Let's see what this is all about. Every single Kremling. That's a 40-minute video. Holy moly. That's what they call them, Kremlings? That's an awful name. I'm just gonna say that. Awful name. You guys want to watch it though? 40 minutes worth of every one of these crocodiles. I shall do as the people wish. After the bathroom break. Funny crocodile. I'll be right back in a few. Hee hee. Haha. I don't know why I did that when I came back. But I am back. I returned. We're gonna we're gonna watch this, right? Say, I mean, I don't know if I'll watch the whole thing. Hee hee. Haha. You forgot the haha. Ay, ay, ay. I got some water with me too so that I can stay hydrated and not perish. This is like almost 40 minutes and you're screaming. You're, you're screaming now. You're losing your shit. This is from a year ago.
K. Rool. We all know him. But how many Kremlings in the Kremling crew could you name right now? 3,
None.
5, maybe even 8? Well, there's a lot of fucking Kremlings. And don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know every single one of them. This is every single Kremling.
Every single Kremling. Mr. Beast poster.
These
Screenshot
goblins
emote.
first showed up in the game Donkey Kong Country, but this wasn't actually supposed to be their first game. The original idea for the Kremlings came from this unreleased game, Johnny Blastoff and the Kremling Armada.
I'm glad that name didn't. Whatever this was supposed to be didn't last. Johnny Blastoff. And Yuki's just going, hee 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 ha ha. Hee hee ha ha.
This was supposed to be some sort of point-and-click game that you could play on your computer, but it never ended up releasing. And to be honest, we don't even really know how far it made it into development. We really know jack about this game. Pretty much the only thing we've seen is this sick-ass concept art of the original Kremlings.
Damn.
And even though...
Why was that one so skinny? That one was like hella skinny. Look at that motherfucker. Hold on. Computer
Pretty much
doing
the only thing
computer
we've
things.
seen is this sick-ass concept art of the original
Bro's waistline. Unrealistic body standards for men. Anorexic crocodile kinda. This man's just literally like a twig in the center.
Kremlings. And even though they do look different, they resemble the Kremlings we got in DKC a lot. The Kremlings would sadly never get to actually fight our boy Jonathan, but the idea of the Kremlings lived on. These dumbasses were so cool.
Is that how I read your message with that voice? Listen, I imagine you were making fun of me, going hee hee ha ha, so that's how I did it. That's how I imagine you making fun of me, and therefore I had to display you making fun of me.
That they needed to be in some game, any game. Luckily for the Kremlings, it just so happened that the game they would get to appear in
Gorilla.
would shake the world. So now that Donkey Kong Country has released, everyone now knows about these alligator people. This was the game that started it all and began our has released.
Literally
Everyone
a
now knows
jacket?
about these alligator.
One of them is literally a jacket. That better not be a flying jacket, or there's gonna have to be things to explain. Don't you me? You put your
This
tongue
was
back
the
in your
game that
mouth.
started it all and began our love for these strange reptilian beings. But let's take a deep look at these guys, and we're gonna figure out what they're really all about. Starting with the leader of them all, King K. Rool.
King
Usually
K.
for this series, I
Rool.
try to keep the main character as brief as I can, only really saying the interesting shit about them. Because honestly, I don't like wasting your time. Everyone knows about these characters. I don't want to tell you shit.
He
everyone
looks like
knows.
one of the villains
But
from
K. Rool
Ninja
is
Turtles.
by far the coolest character.
I guess like he technically could be like I could see him being a thing in the it's like if you made a crocodile. I'm pretty sure there is like a crocodile, maybe one. There has to be at least one crocodile character. I swear there is though. Like there's like one crocodile guy, but I think he's a friend. Don't tell me where to put your tongue. It's just as long as it's in your mouth. I don't care. Or has some sort of eye disease. He's got pink eye. Oh gosh.
Of the bunch I've talked about so far, he has so much neat shit to him that I honestly can't wait to show you. But let's start off at the beginning and let's talk about the king's conception. The earliest ideas of K. Rool started out in the Johnny Blastoff phase. The Kremlings needed a leader, so they drew up this concept art of the Kremlings leader.
Okay, but why does he look kind of cool though? Why is he kind of cool? Kind of cool looking here.
His name at the time was Crud. He definitely looked very edgy at this point in time and overall just different. But you gotta remember this was before he was supposed to be fighting the monkey from Mario Bros, so it makes sense. Crud went through a few different changes throughout development. Like at one point his name would have been King Clinker and he would have had a wife named
King Clinker. Let's be thankful that was not the name that stuck.
Queen Crap. They did a lot of experimentation with the character is what I'm trying to say. But finally when bringing the Kremlings into
Crizzle.
DKC, they changed his name again, this time to Commander K. Rool. At this point he's pretty much the K. Rool we know today.
Yeah,
but they obviously
all of the
would
names
drop
so
the
far
Commander
not very
thing,
good.
instead giving him the title of King K. Rool. The Commander title still actually appeared in the credits of the game though, which was a nice little reference they threw in. But I know what you've been thinking. What does the K in K. Rool stand for? People have been wondering this since the downfall of Mesopotamia. Well, it actually means nothing. It's just the letter K. And if you didn't know, this is actually a reference to the alphabet. The person who named K. Rool, Greg...
The letter K is it's a reference to the alphabet, guys. Did you know that? Jeez.
Males, said that this was just a way to make K. Rool seem more important than he really is. K. Rool has a very high ego, so he just added a K to his name to make himself seem more badass.
Awesome.
And honestly, I think it's kind of effective. Greg Mayo said that in hindsight, if he were to have made the K stand for something, it would have been something dumb like King Kremling Rule, or just something super out of character on purpose like King Keith Rule. So
King
there you go,
Keith.
that's the history of K. Rool's development. But what about K. Rool in the games? K. Rool didn't make it into Smash for his development history, he made it in because he's gas. He appeared in a lot of different BS, Mario Sluggers, comics where he's
I mean, like, he's a man that's got a lot of money. Isn't that like part of his lore? He's got a lot of money because he steals the bananas or whatever. So he's probably on something. He probably is. Maybe he's just, he's got a little something on the side. Every time he goes and messes with Donkey Kong stuff.
On with human-like hands and even TV, and pretty much all of the media he appears in, he seems kind of insane and deranged. He enjoys beating his minions and even sometimes straight up kills them. Regardless of this though, most of his minions seem to still respect him. They love the dude for some reason. But K. Rool has more issues. Like his beef with Donkey Kong is super strange. DK didn't do anything to K. Rool, yet K. Rool still stole all of his bananas. You'd think this is just typical villain behavior. I mean, Mario didn't do anything to Bowser, but he still kidnaps Peach. But the difference is, Bowser actually has a motive, that being he wants to be with Peach, right? K. Rool doesn't even like bananas. And I know for a fucking fact he's not feeding it to his minions that he already beats. The only motive you can reasonably make of this information...
He just showed Donkey Kong's ass? I don't know. If he did, it was like immediately snapshotted out of my mind. I was too busy listening to the lore. The man doesn't even like bananas, and he stole them anyways.
Is that he just wants DK to starve to death.
And 20 seconds ago? Let me see.
Bowser, but he still kidnaps Peach. But the difference is, Bowser actually has a motive, that being he wants to be with Peach, right? K. Rool doesn't even like bananas. And I know for a fucking fact he's not feeding it to his minions that he already beats. The only motive you can reasonably make of this information is that he just wants DK to starve to death.
Maybe.
Bowser bananas. Strange. DK didn't do anything.
He did.
Already beat
He just had him turn around real quick.
And looking into this further, this was actually confirmed by the writer of the DKC games. K. Rool stole the bananas to make DK starve, so that he can then live inside of DK's treehouse.
Bro.
Dude can just build a treehouse. He has made robots. And that's another thing about K. Rool. He likes to play dress up a lot.
House.
In every single country game, K. Rool has a new outfit and heavily role plays what he's dressing up as in that moment. Super Smash Bros. Brawl actually tries to change our mind on this and gaslight us into thinking the pirate outfit is actually a completely separate character. But it's just K. Rool. It's definitely not his brother. I don't really know what Brawl was smoking here. Moving on though. K. Rool's relationship with the Kongs is definitely strange. He apparently was at one point the student of Mrs. Deceased Kong, attending her school at Kong College. She stated that he actually has a lot of missing homework, and maybe this is actually why he's so angry at the Kongs. But at the same time, he also finds some of the Kongs attractive, like in the end of DK64 where he's staring hard at Candy Kong. And he does this while apparently having a wife. K. Rool is batshit insane if you haven't picked up on it already. And if you thought it couldn't get any worse, he's racist too.
Oh
Read this
no.
shit.
Not the Critter Gang. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Yeah, King K. Rool is racist, now you know. I can actually go on about this character for literal hours, but this is one Kremling and we have so many more to talk about, so I'm sadly going to cut it short and we're just going to move on to some other Kremlings. First, let's mention the Critter, the basic Kremling type. They're just your typical enemy and there's not too much to them. These guys are obviously from DKC as the basic enemy, and in this game, these guys are responsible for one of the best gaming noises of all time. The critters being the basic enemy of the game,
Random
sometimes
critters for sale, right? It's just these guys. These guys all just like in a bucket. A big bucket.
get recolors that make them behave slightly differently in-game from the original. Kind of like how Mario does with the red Koopas. Like, this is a Kremling that can jump. Awesome. But the critter itself
Awesome.
really does nothing in DKC. They're just kinda iconic enemies for the series, right? But they're still pretty cool. I honestly feel like where they shine the most is in the Mario sports games.
Damn.
In most of the Mario Strikers games, for example, they make a critter be the goalie. And look how gassed they made him look. They treated him well here. They would also appear as playable characters in Mario Sluggers, and I looked up a tier list of this game so you wouldn't have to see if they were any good, and I found out they actually are pretty good. So I'm proud of them for that
A
one.
tier?
But I want to talk a little
All of
bit more
them are
about the
A tier.
DKC
Damn, that's
trilogy.
actually pretty
Earlier
clean.
I talked about how K. Rool plays dress up, and one time he became a pirate named Captain K. Rool. Well, when he was the captain, he made the critters dress up as pirates too. And when they dress up as pirates, they are now known as separate characters called Clomps. But while looking at the Clomps, I noticed something. These guys now have peg legs.
Oh no.
Meaning that if you're a critter and want to join K. Rool's pirate crew, you have to sacrifice your own leg to be initiated.
That is dedication.
This is just fucked up at this point. They dressed up as pirates for a little while until DKC 3, where they were just completely replaced by these great value critters called cobbles.
Ew, why does he look like that, though? These guys, I don't like that guy. His face looks funny. That's just it. I don't like his face.
These are just some of the ugliest bastards I've ever seen. This might be one of the biggest downgrades I've seen in a while. There's also these purple cobbles, and they're named Skiddas because they skid on
Skidda.
ice. Very
Okay.
creative of them. I'm just gonna change the topic. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna brighten our moods a bit here. Let's talk about the Claptrap. This is one of my favorite Kremling designs ever.
That
Properly. They're
chompy ass motherfucker. Look at him. Who let this man out? Who let this child out of their house? Like they don't deserve to be out here. Put them back in. Get them back to their mamas, and stop them from clamping down on shit.
cute as hell. The Claptraps kind of act like pets to the Kremlings, where most Kremlings act as crocodile people.
Man created lore because devs didn't. Maybe. I could believe a little bit of that.
Claptraps are just crocodiles. Kremlings can talk, these guys can't. They wear collars and growl in DK64. You get the idea already, they're Kremling dogs. They first showed up in DKC 1 and they have become one of the most popular Kremlings since release. I feel like a lot of people know about him. He has one of the most fire trophy models in Melee, and
Ooh.
even appeared as an assist trophy in Ultimate. Now this thing is cute, but you might have been wondering, how can we make the Claptrap look disgusting?
Oh
Yeah,
my
holy
god.
fuck, right? This is how the Claptraps look in the DKC animated cartoon. And they look
Since when did they have a fucking animated cartoon? When was this a thing? A fucking animated cartoon? And why is he looking like that? He looks tweaked out. Like, look at them pinprick eyes. Brother's also on something. The whole crew might be on something.
awful. I don't know why they did this to my goat. I just talked about how in the games the Claptrap kinda acts as the pets for the Kremlings. While in the show, they stand, so they can't be dogs.
They are
The
on
solution for
crocodile.
this was to make them act as disposable ammunition for this gun called the Clap Blaster. Claptraps
Blaster.
get put into this gun, and then they get used as literal ammo. This cartoon was on the craziest substances. We're gonna talk more about this cartoon later, but for now let's get back to the Claptrap stuff. Just like the critter, the Claptrap has country 2 and 3 variants. This will be a kind of common thing, to be honest, get used to it. DKC2 gave us the Clamp On, which is just said to be the older brother of the Claptrap. They honestly are just bigger Claptraps, not too mind-blowing here. But in DKC3, we get the Crimp, which is actually just a Kremling dog, literally being referred to as Krem dogs in some old Nintendo magazines. Now, Krem dog is a very funny term to me, but I'm not a huge fan of these guys. I still prefer my goat. But let's talk a little bit about Clump, our next croc on the list.
Damn, bro, they got him nippled up and everything in that shot. What was that? Up dog, up dog. What about down dog or left dog, right dog, upper right, upper left, lower right dog? Laugh.
He's this strong and military troop Kremling. Clumps have always been implied to be one of the higher ranking members on the Kremlin crew. There's a Clump that gives K-Rool updates on the Kongs in DK64, and there's also a Clump named General Clump who acts as one of K-Rool's top henchmen in the cartoon. Just like I mentioned though, we got DKC2 in 3 variants, and 2 we have the Cannon. It's honestly a really cool redesign for the Clump. I like it more than the other redesigns we've seen so far. The only thing kinda strange about him is that they decided to give him ears now, which was a very bold decision by Rare. It's stated in the manual that cannons are just Clumps that got trained to use cannons, so they really are just the same dudes, and I got nothing else to really say about them. But let's talk about the DKC3 gremlin, the Bazooka. Now this dude is fire. This is just such a gas design. There's not much to the dude either. He's just this little Kremling with a massive bazooka. The bazooka was the successor to the cannon. He doesn't resemble Cannon at all, or Clump, but functionality wise, like in the game, these two are pretty comparable.
You see, this is like the trope of the small anime girl with a big hammer, except it's a crocodile instead. It's a 1-to-1. 1-to-1. Little person, big weapon. Makes a lot of sense. He was so happy talking about bazooka. Well, can you blame him? Little person, big weapon. Classic trope.
There's really not much to the dude, but I just really love him. I want to be his friend pretty badly. And I have yet to talk about the coolest part about him. Just look at him for a second. How the hell is he carrying that bazooka? He is a little tiny bastard. He shouldn't be able to carry that. That is made out of raw metal. And he has to be one of the strongest Kremlings physically. These two would stay stuck in their respective games, sadly, but Clump would actually make it into Donkey Kong Barrel Blast, where he now wears a bucket on his head. He's also, for some reason, now the rival of Lanky Kong, and I'm not completely sure what beef these two could possibly have, but I'm not even really gonna think.
That's so dumb. He labeled bazooka and the weapon bazooka. Yes. Because his name is Bazooka, and he has a bazooka. Maybe that's just why they call him Bazooka. It's because he has a bazooka, Yuki. That's just how it works. And he's right. What beef could these two motherfuckers even have? Look at him. Goofy ass guy, and guy that looks like he doesn't know where he is. You are small, and must bazooka. Bazooka on.
About it. Next Kremling. Crusher. Crusher is kind of similar to Clump in a lot of ways.
They removed the nipples.
To be near the top when it
Listen, let's be honest. I'm kind of glad they removed his nipples.
The ranks. He's a prominent character in the cartoon, and he also has a military-styled outfit, just like Clumpathin. But Clump was treated better. Crusher has only appeared in like 2 games, in the original DKC and DK64. But in DK64, he's not even an enemy in the game. Instead, you can unlock him as a playable character in the game's multiplayer mode. It's actually, that's pretty cool. He's playable, but it's kind of strange that he's not even an enemy in the game. They made Crusher specifically for multiplayer. You can unlock him by taking pictures of 15 banana
Crusher
fairies
kind of looks
in Donkey
goofy
Kong
walking
64.
around.
But the biggest Crusher fans were disappointed that he was only in multiplayer. They wanted him in the story mode too. So a Game Shark code was made where you can play as Crusher in the story mode, and you can play the entire game like this. When bringing him into the story mode, we can see some of his unused animations too, like a unique Crusher idle animation that never appeared in the multiplayer mode. It doesn't even end there though. Just a few years ago, a glitch was discovered to bring Crusher into the story without cheats.
Well, damn.
So if you're a die-hard Crusher fan like me and want to play the story as Crusher without modifying the game, you can do that. But if you do it this way, the game's actually unbeatable. So, I mean, it's kind of an ass trade-off. At that point, just use the Game Shark code. But fuck you, this is still cool. You can't take this away from me. Enough about Crusher, though. Let's talk about his
man's very passionate about these
variants real
Kremlin
quick, where I can happily introduce you to Cruncher, this fine pirate crocodile. This handsome
This brother skipped leg day though. Like, damn. Like, good upper body, lower body though. I'm not too sure, bro. I don't know how he's holding himself up. Not gonna lie.
Kremlin clocks in at 6 feet 2 inches tall, as well as weighing 400 pounds.
Damn.
Don't worry though, I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking the exact same thing. What are his turn-ons? Well, an official trading card from Nintendo Power tells us exactly that. We can see them listed here. He likes barbells, washboard abs, and feeling the burn.
What the fuck? Why is this actually turn-ons, turn-offs? And the videos literally called every single Kremlin. I mean, yeah, but I did not think he was gonna go in like so deep into these Kremlins. What a wondrous thing. What a wondrous thing. Let's see. Yogurt? He doesn't like yogurt. Quiche? People who hog the mirror at the gym. Favorite quote? I'll be back. Favorite video? Anything with something. I can't read it. Bro loves these goofy crocodiles. No way. He likes Terminator. Maybe he did. Because I'll be back. Probably, actually.
This is real information Nintendo gave us.
Oh, here's the rest of the info. Hold on. Let me try to get this right.
Washboard abs and feeling the burn.
My boy
This is real.
Cruncha. Your boy specifically. Anything with yeah, he does. He likes the Terminator because it's got Schwarzenegger in it, bro. He's got the actor. Anything with the actor in it, he loves it. Favorite song, Macho Man. Tips and secrets. Cruncha is well, that's a gameplay thing.
Information Nintendo gave us. They didn't have to give us these facts, but they did. And let me tell you, I'm so glad they did. Alright, but let's check out the DKC3 one now. This is just disappointing.
Oh my gosh.
I have notes, I've researched, I have nothing to say about this one. That's how boring he is. You know, he's just an uglier looking Crusher. And that's honestly kind of been a common theme about this game, except Bazooka. He's cool.
They really did a lot of these guys wrong.
Let's talk about Cackle. Now this Kremling is cool.
Cackle?
This is a skeleton / Kremling thing. He only appeared in one level in DKC2 and that's it. Not any other level, not any other game. He just exists in this one stage. He's still sick though. 4 Cackles appear in this level, each wearing their own uniquely colored bandana. It's stated in the game's manual that the Cackles actually haunt Crocodile Isle. They would never appear in any game officially ever again, but they were used as placeholder enemies in Banjo-Kazooie's prototype Project Dream.
Oh.
I think it's pretty cool to see them like this, even if they were never planned to be.
What? This was the Banjo-Kazooie prototype you used to play as a person? Now that is some deep lore.
In the game fully. But let's go back a bit to when DKC2 was still in development. To talk about Mr. X. This was how Cackle used to look before getting his final design. And he's pretty damn cool looking. He even has official completed art.
Bro's got a sword like he can hold it. He has 2 hooks for hands. Each of his hands are gone. How is he expected to hold a sword? This doesn't... He's just like not capable. He can't do it.
So he must have changed
His
designs
mouth, I
very
guess.
late into development. This dude made it so far in development that he was showing
Zorro?
promotional art for Nintendo Power, and even somehow managed to make it into an official player's guide for the game. Like, bro is not even in the game. How did he end up in the strategy guide? Mr. X is really cool looking. But in my opinion, I think we ended up getting the cooler design in the final game anyway. And if you disagree with that, you can lick my nuts. On the topic of undead Kremlings though, let's quickly talk about the cloak. These are undead Kremlings that can float. I think they're pretty cool.
Okay, that
Definitely
makes
one of the
sense.
more unique designs we've seen, right? The cloak only appears in Country 2, but he was originally meant to appear in Country 1. This is a document that the developers made while thinking of names and ideas for different characters that would appear in Country 1. We can see some more cut Kremlings and even some cut animal buddies here. Like Hooter the Owl. Yes, sick
They're
rare.
so
But there's
creative with
something
the
on this
names. Listen, there's only so many K-related puns you can make with names. There's only so much, Yuki. Only so much.
page that caught my fucking eye, bro. Dude,
They were
do you see
thinking,
this
I
shit
think
here?
so.
You're telling me Donkey Kong Country was at one point supposed to be called Monkey Mayhem? That's incredible. This is why Donkey Kong is so cool. Imagine going to Blockbuster in '94 to pick up the hot new game Monkey Mayhem? I would have lost my shit, dude. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. God, Monkey Mayhem. All right,
Monkey
the
mayhem.
cloak, we're actually kind of done with that one already. Let's just finish talking about undead Kremlings. I'm going to talk about these two small ones back to back here.
There's
The
more?
Rock Croc and the Resident Demon. The
Resident Demon. Okay. They were going kind of hard with that one.
Rock Croc is a tough-skinned Kremling that only appears in one level in DKC1. Donkey and Diddy Kong actually can't hurt them at all because of their tough skin, so the goal in the level is to pretty much avoid them the whole time. These guys don't resemble anything undead to me, but apparently they are. The English player guides say that they're possessed, and the German player guides just straight up imply them to be zombies. So, yeah, you know, undead.
That doesn't make
Kremlings,
any
I
sense,
guess.
but
Now
sure.
the Resident Demon, the actual cool one of the two. This thing is fucking crazy looking.
Damn.
It only appeared
Big ass
once in
head.
DK64 in a single minecart level. This thing 100% gave kids nightmares. Rare was kind of fucked up for this one. The thing shoots out flaming skulls and he's really edgy, to be honest, but at the same time, he's not too edgy. I think it's a pretty healthy balance. He's just a really cool Kremling. I definitely approve of this one. After this level, the Resident Demon would never be mentioned again and was eventually forgotten. But believe it or not, this isn't even the coolest looking Kremling in Donkey Kong 64 because the Kasplat is in the game.
He just looks like a biker. It's like
Looking Kremling
Like,
in
look
Donkey
at this
Kong
man.
64 because the Kasplat
he's literally just a biker. That's it. You can't tell me he looks like anything else, cause like he looks like a Crash Bandicoot. Maybe a little bit.
is in the game. Brother, on God, when I first saw this thing, I had to actually stop for a second because I had to actually process what I was looking at here. They didn't just cook. They made a 5-course meal with this character design. Kasplats act as King K. Rool's bodyguards in DK64. And for some reason, Rare really wanted people to know that they were bodyguards. So much, in fact, that in some languages their names are just Guard.
Wow.
There's a lot of Kasplats in this game, and they each hold a small part of the blueprint for the Blastomatic, which is a weapon capable of destroying the entirety of DK Island. K. Rool gave the Kasplats these blueprints so they could protect them
Never
from
mind,
the
this
Kongs.
is Sonic.
So, yeah, it
They
goes
do
back to
got
the
that
whole guard
Sonic
thing,
like
right?
slick back hair, a spiky haircut.
These guys are kind of seen as variants of the Crusha, and you can definitely see why by looking at them. Some strategy guides for the game even mistakenly call it a Crusha. And the Crushas are really cool, don't get me wrong, but this by far surpasses any Crusha design we've ever seen. The formula for the Blue Guard Kremling was perfected with the Kasplat, and it will stay that way probably forever. But me, I'm fuming. They make the Kasplat one of the coolest motherfuckers I've ever seen, just to never use them again. The amount of blue balls I have right now is literally undescribable. They presented me with a 5-course meal, then only let me eat the appetizer. They could have had
Damn.
this dude race against Grandma Kong's Spirit in Barrel Blast, but I guess that's too much to ask for. Okay, bro. I know this is a random question, but what do you think of barrels? I personally think they're pretty cool. Did you know the oldest barrels in history date all the way back to 2600 BC, and they're still used until this day?
Long ass time ago.
Barrels can even hold up to 42 gallons in liquids, and
We love
that's
liquid.
a lot of liquid. Anyway, here's a Kremling wearing a barrel. His name is the Clobber. When I first looked
Clobber.
at this, I thought it was just a critter that put on a barrel and then called it a day, but this actually can't be a critter, because these guys have ears. So critters can't just be
Who thought it was a good idea to give the damn crocodile's ears, bro? Like, I know, like, just put the ring in the whole side of the head. Just put it on the side of the head. Clobber in time. That's probably what they do. I'm pretty sure they just try to roll you over. Probably. I've never played any of these games, but I feel like that's what they would do.
become clobbers. They came from DKC2 and then showed up again in 64.
No, they just run at you.
But looking at the
Talk now.
DK64 one, I'm not immediately seeing any ears, so I guess in this game critters can actually become clobbers. Clobbers also have a variant called kabooms, which are just red clobbers that hide in TNT barrels. Kabooms will run at Diddy and Dixie Kong and explode themselves in an attempt to kill the Kongs. Just like the clobber, they appear in both DKC2 and 64. And if you're a huge DK64 head, you instead might know them by their other name that they're sometimes called, the TNT Bomber. Now these guys are cool and all, but there's even cooler barrel Kremlings out there. Look at these guys. These guys are like the Kremling barrel Power Rangers. The Green
Kanaka. Okay, he's gotta go through one of them. I was about to read their names, but Kanaka got me.
Ranger is pretty much identical to the Clobber. The freak with the scary arms acts kind of like the Klinger, which is this pirate Kremling who just hangs onto ropes. And his name Clasp is like you're clasping onto something, but with a K. Next we got Spyro. This one throws bombs at monkeys. Then finally the Kraka, the only remotely cool one here. This dude was supposed to be in DKC3 like the other Rangers, but he actually ended up getting cut from the game. He has unused sprites that are still in the game's code, and you think this is where the Kraka would die in Donkey Kong Country 3's code. But actually no. For some reason in the Game Boy Advance remake of Country 3, they end up using his unused sprites and put him into the game as an enemy. And it's not even anything special, it's just the rope one, but now he isn't bound to ropes and he can move on the ground, great. His name Kraka isn't even official per se. We only know his name is Kraka because of unused text in the game's credits. It's like that part of the credits where it shows all the enemies' names, right? The text said Kraka, so this is Kraka according to that. Now I've waited a while to hit you with this one, but this is one of the coolest Kremlings, like actually. K. Lumsy. This is a giant Kremling who appears in Donkey Kong 64.
Holy
He's
shit,
surprisingly
dude. He's chunky,
friendly. He's
though.
one of the only Kremlings in the entire series that actually likes the Kongs. Before the events of DK64, King K. Rool ordered K. Lumsy to destroy Donkey Kong Island. Because he's a giant, it would have been an easy task for him. But K. Lumsy actually ends up refusing, which makes K. Rool angry. So he locks him up in a cage.
Oh, they locked up my boy. My boy ain't do nothing wrong. He likes monkey. He likes monkey, and that's wrong. he was arrested for wrong think, according to the game. Bro could not, handle a non-monkey racist, apparently. Arrested for being a monkey lover. Exactly. He loves a monkey, and he's being punished for it. What a cruel world.
Throughout the course of the game, the Kongs help K. Lumsy by unlocking his cell. Every time they defeat one of the bosses in the game, they get a boss key, which helps unlock K. Lumsy's cage. And each time they unlock a part of his cage, he gets super excited and jumps around and shit, which causes actual tremors across Donkey Kong Island. And those tremors reveal more levels that you can go to. After K. Rool is defeated, K. Lumsy becomes free, and the Kongs and him party. I love the vibes he gives off, man. He's so cute. It genuinely gives me joy looking at this big dumb dude. In most releases of the game, we don't really get any information on him besides what I said, but in the Japanese version, that's a different story. In the Japanese release, it's stated that K. Lumsy is actually King K. Rool's younger brother, and this is one hell of a lore drop. We'll definitely never see K. Rool's younger brother ever again, but we should appreciate the time we did get with him. And if you want even more time with him, try 100%ing the game, then you'll see him for like 74 more hours at least. Clubba. Clubba is a built-ass Kremling who was hired by K. Rool to prevent people from accessing the Lost World, the secret world in DKC2. The area he runs to protect the Lost World is called Clubba's Kiosk. He actually doesn't like K. Rool at all. He believes all the Kremlings are miserable under K. Rool's leadership. So he's down to let Diddy and Dixie just slip into the Lost World with no problems, as long as they can give him 15 Krem coins, just completely disobeying K. Rool's order of guarding the Lost World. In his defense, I guess, if you don't want to pay him, you can still get through, but you'd have to fight him. So unless he's bribed, he's still doing his job, technically. And he does his job well. If you choose to fight him, he just instantly boots you out of the kiosk. Shit is barely a fight. During the development of Donkey Kong Country 2, Clubba was actually planned as the boss of the Lost World, before being replaced with just a rematch with King K. Rool. Bits of this unused fight were reincorporated into the fight with Cudgel. And Cudgel is just this other buff Kremling, but he's a boss, and I bet you could have guessed that by what I just said. We're somewhat getting to the final stretch, so let me finally talk about this dumbass game. For some reason, the Donkey Kong series loves making original characters that are specifically for their racing games. This is the roster of Diddy Kong Racing. Now this is the roster of Diddy Kong Racing again, but with only the characters that actually appeared in other games. They got a Kremling in here, that's my brother Crunch, and I've already talked about him before. Watch this.
Got his nails painted. You see that? Hold on.
They got a Kremling in here, that's my brother Crunch.
There you go. See? Fancy.
And I've already talked about him before. Watch this video if you want to see Crunch lore that bad. Just skipping him because I've already covered him extensively before. But Barrel Blast has a decent amount of original characters too, and they're all Kremlings, so I have to talk about them. But let me tell you real quick what I'm working with here. These guys show up in Barrel Blast with no story reason or any information attached.
That's my brother Crunch, man. He loves them. He loves every one of them. I mean, maybe he himself is a Kremlin. Maybe that's why. How else does he know so much?
To them whatsoever. All we get to know is their names. Then they never appeared in anything ever fucking again. So do you know how I'm gonna tell you their lore? Through European Brawl trophy descriptions.
Oh, goodness.
Because not even the North American version of Brawl has interesting information on them. I think this is the most rock bottom we've been in this series. Let's get to reading, bro. Calypso. She's a strong leader figure and she has the full trust of the entire Kremlin crew. She's very good at sports and dancing, and she apparently owns a clubhouse, and it's seen as a literal oasis by all the Kremlings. She's also said to be the rival of Tax Collector Kong.
Tax Collector Kong? What did that say?
Kremlings. She's also said to be the rival of Tax...
Occupation, tax official. She's gotta go. I'm sorry, she's gotta go. If that's real, she's gotta go. She just has to go.
Collector Kong. You can unlock her as a character in Barrel Blast by winning the Sapphire Cup with a Kremling. And her name Calypso comes from the word calypso, which is a style of Caribbean folk music. Next up in our list of Barrel Blast bums, we got Kip. He's said to be the little brat and naughty trickster Kremling, but he's cherished by all of the Kremlings because of his young age. He tends to rush into situations without thinking about consequences, and he has a fierce rivalry with Diddy Kong, which I personally find very hard to believe. I doubt Diddy Kong gives a fuck about this random Kremling. Diddy Kong has bigger things to do. He's Diddy Kong. Kip is also a big fan of...
he got pressed on that. He got pressed when it came to that rivalry. He said Diddy Kong's got bigger things to think about. Like, damn, there was some animosity in that.
Of donuts. Here's our next one. Her name is Cass. This Kremling girl has hair, and she thought her hair was so stylish that her rocket barrels also needed to have her hair. And looking at her side by side with Kip, am I tripping, or is that actually just the same model with different clothes? She's a Kremling girl that's more mature than you'd expect for her age. She's clever but vicious as well.
Okay.
She has a rivalry with Dixie Kong and is always plotting an idea to twist her tail. She also has a deathly fear of frogs. The trophy specifically states that when Winky the Frog pulls up, she shrinks away. Now the best one, Kludge.
Taxes are the worst thing for elves. Imagine how much money adds up over the thousands of years. Well, just don't keep owning, if you own one little place. Damn, actually, now that I think about it, if you're a nation, you want elf citizens because they live for a long-ass time. And they make, theoretically, they make more and more money. Huh. I never thought about that.
Kludge is a massive, monstrous Kremling who, once riled up, is said to even give King K. Rool trouble. He has a pea brain, so his childlike manner has made him close friends with Kip and Cass. He's so pea-brained, in fact, that if he thinks about too much at once, his brain actually overheats. His hobby is devouring anything and everything at the dinner table, and he's the rival of Funky Kong. And honestly, I can see it. This dude looks cool enough to rival Funky, I'd say. You can unlock him by winning the Diamond Cup with a Kremling. Now that's all the original characters we have in this game, but there's actually one playable character that appears in this game that we haven't talked about.
Also, the less psychos cause all the psychos locked up and not... Wait, also then less psychos cause all the psychos locked up and not many new ones. Yeah.
And that's Copter. This ugly
Copter, bro, needs to go back to his computer.
ass dude. He has tiny rat legs and he's honestly just built weird. But the thing is, man, he used to be cute as hell. This was Copter in his first game appearance, DKC3. In DKC3, he has one of the most creative designs I've ever seen. He likes to fly around, right? But he does so by holding two helicopter blades and then spinning around really fast to take flight.
Greatest of his generation, I'm sure. Just take two propeller things and spin, and that'll work. I mean, it clearly does.
He is the helicopter, and he's super cute, man. Look at this gif. This is top 3 gifs of all time. But then when they put him into Barrel Blast, they took away literally everything fun about him. They take away his helicopter blades and give him just some basic ass propeller hat, which is honestly just kind of insulting to me. Who greenlit this change? They also just made him ugly as shit, so great, now Copter's legacy is ruined. And I honestly don't think I can forgive Barrel Blast for this one. He just used to be so fire, man. But before we stop talking about Donkey Kong Jet Race, I wanted to show this concept of some Kremlings that were planned to be in the game, but didn't quite make it. The only one that made it in here was Copter, and we can see that Crusha was planned to be in the game. That's pretty cool. But then there's these two new Kremlings here. This girl Kremling named Cressa. I assume they just liked Calypso's design more, so they put her in over Cressa. But then we got Carrie. This pretty cool Kremling wearing a bandana. I know nothing about the dude besides his design and name, but if I were to have to guess, maybe Kip ended up replacing this dude as the Kid Kremling. So in conclusion, the only one in this paper to actually make it into the game was the one ugly one. So, great. Now what about the DKC cartoon? There are some fire Kremlings here with some very interesting stories, believe it or not. You've waited a while for it, and to be honest, I've hyped it up enough already, so let me pass it to the DKC cartoon lore master.
I still can't believe there's a cartoon about DK. That astounds me.
Bezzy.
What's up, guys? It's Uncle Bezzy. I was busy enjoying my retirement after making every single Koopa until Carlito over here came and asked me for another favor. But I can never decline a DKC favor. Forget talking about One Piece and Luffy. Let's talk about Captain Scurvy, the real Pirate King. He's a pirate Kremling.
He also has nipples. What is it with the Koopas and I mean not the Koopas, the Kremlins and having like some of them just having nipples?
Let's talk about Captain
what is this?
Scurvy, the real Pirate King.
What is that? Why do they have nipples? They're crocodiles. They don't. This doesn't. Somebody had a thing. Breastfeeding. Do not implant such ideas into my mind.
He's a pirate Kremling who's appeared in multiple episodes, and because of this, he actually has insane character depth. His first appearance was in an episode called Booty and the Beast, which might I
funny ass name.
I add is one of the best episodes behind the Kung Fu one. Now you might be wondering, what is Captain Scurvy even doing on DK's island?
Babies would bite right through, right? Because they're crocodiles.
In the first place, before the events of the show, he had fought Cranky Kong in some epic battle, which ended up leaving him stranded on this island. Now, if you can't tell by the name, he's a pirate captain, obviously, so he has his own shipmates. These shipmates being Cutlass, Green Croc, and Polly Roger. We'll get into those guys a little bit later. But in the episode Booty and the Beast,
you're gonna have to head out. I have a good one, you too. Hope you have a great rest of your night. May the gods bless you. May the stars shine in your honor. All that jazz.
he wants to steal the powerful crystal coconut. He considers it his anyways because Scurvy's great-great-great-grandfather, Quint Scurvy, was the one who discovered the coconut and brought it to the DK's home island. Now, if you don't know this, Quint Scurvy might just be my actual grandfather, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
What?
Scurvy actually ends up getting the crystal coconut, but ends up giving it to DK anyways. The reason for this is that DK broke Scurvy's tooth. Long ago, he had sworn on the great pirate oath that he would grant a favor to anyone who knocked out his tooth, and
that is like a strange oath to make. May the gods shine you, may the stars bless you in your honor. That would be not the correct way to say that.
Favor Donkey asked for was that Scurvy give the crystal coconut back. Now, one last thing to add for all my little Pokemon fans, he also has his very own holographic trading card, which is probably worth a whopping $3 on the black market. Now, let's get into the minions of the pirate crew. We have Cutlass, not to be confused with the Kremling from the games The Cutlass, but this is Cutlass, the first crewmate, the right-hand man. He is the #1 minion to Captain Scurvy and is very loyal to him. He's also very familiar with the Pirate Handbook, the official book for pirate rules.
According to Section 3, Paragraph 4 of the Pirate Handbook, any and all treasure acquired by ill-gotten means shall and will be systematically buried, sir. It's funny. He's the legal guy, essentially, the legal guy for his boy. Whoops.
So he's definitely a well-trained pirate. But we can use this pirate handbook to directly power scale his
They are naked. It's so fucking cursed. Just don't think about it. They're crocodiles, you know? They swim around. They don't need clothes.
comrade, Green Croc, another Kremling.
Look, this one's got pants on. It's a style choice.
To Captain Scurvy. Green Croc is the weakest link of the pirate crew, and the Mario Wiki directly states that the main reason why he is the weakest is because he did not study the pirate handbook as much as his fellow shipmate
He's fucking high,
Cutlass,
maybe.
which makes him weaker than him. Alright, now I don't have much anger towards a lot of the characters in the cartoon, but this one character just seems to really grind my gears to the silk smooth. We have Krusha. Krusha is a Krusha Kremling that appears in the show, and he is one of the main henchmen of K. Rool, and he appears in a lot of the episodes actually. Krusha is the big, strong, but dumb character archetype. If you need help thinking of anybody, think of Carlito. He has a hard time understanding the simplest of things, and even enjoys watching shows that are meant for toddlers, such as Coco Melon. He is best friends with K. Rool's other top guard in the cartoon, who is General Clump. We'll get to him later. The main episode where he's really relevant was called Speed, where he gets run over by a minecart, which makes him incredibly smart. This threatens the entire world of the DK cartoon, as it should.
He got the Squidward treatment, but for his brain. Just gets ran over, becomes smart. What a life. What a legacy to leave behind.
His newfound intelligence, he devises a plan to kill every single Kong on the island, some of which I agree with, and claims the crystal coconut for himself. He even manages to make K. Rool obey his orders because he was that threatening. He considers K. Rool a pussy, which so do I, and not ruthless enough towards the Kongs, which is clearly evident through K. Rool's countless baseball games with them. But you see, Krusha isn't that cruel. He was willing to let K. Rool live so long as Clump wanted him to live. But this episode has a terrible ending. It ends with him getting hit by a minecart again, making him dumb again, and all the Kongs and K. Rool breathe a sigh of relief. Now, you guys may be wondering, who's K. Rool's right-hand man? That's an easy question. It's General Clump. General Clump is a Clump Kremling, and he is second in command to K. Rool, and he is his main henchman, his main man. He gets shit on a lot by K. Rool, and even fired by him a couple of times, but what best friend or right man doesn't get fired a couple of times? You see, he remains faithful though, to the point where that he even said that serving K. Rool is his life goal. He is one of the main characters appearing in a lot of the episodes, and plans a lot of K. Rool's schemes in the show. Clump has done a lot of random shit during the show. In fact, one time he befriended Dixie Kong and helped her find her lost pet lobster named Thermidor.
Thermidor, the pet lobster. I'm gonna need to intake that information for a second here. How does that even work? Where did you get him? What are you feeding him? Where do you keep him? Do you just let him walk around like a well-trained dog that you don't need to leash up or anything? Like I don't. This one also confounds my intelligence. She just got a lobster. I don't know. I guess that's really it. She just has a lobster.
What the fuck? Clump actually eats 100 garlic cloves a day, and because of this, he is actually immune to illness, which due to some further research, he would actually die if he did this, but that's besides the case. He might be immune to that as well. This character got a pretty impressive backstory in the Christmas episode, The Congo Bongo Festival of Lights, where it reveals that as a young Kremling, Clump accidentally started a huge fire that destroyed his swamp homeland where he and his family lived. But this is where the saving grace comes in. Clump's older brother decided to take the blame for the fire, and in an act of brotherly love towards Clump, this resulted in Clump's brother being banished from the swamp.
Aww.
Now, you may think we'll never see Clump's brother again because who really even cares about Clump's brother? But what if I told you that Clump's brother was actually the DK Pirate King, Captain Scurvy? Clump ended up wanting to join his brother's pirate crew, which, just like any other brother who wouldn't want to join their brother's pirate crew, but he ended up being dissuaded by K. Rool, so he ended up taking up arms and joining K. Rool's army instead.
Thank you, Bezzy. That brought tears to my eyes, man, as always, brother. But I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
I just think he likes saying brother. This guy just likes saying brother.
Because I want to finish what I started with this rat. Junior Claptrap. Not only was he born a freak by being a DKC cartoon Claptrap, but he's also said to be way bigger than the rest of his Claptrap brothers. Like, look at him here next to Diddy Kong. He's a gremlin, bro. Imagine you're going for a walk, and then you see a 2-foot tall cartoon Claptrap. I'd honest to God probably shit myself. Because of how big he is, he actually
A little overreaction, but that's all right.
can't be used in the clap blaster, that torture device we talked about earlier. He just straight up can't fit inside the gun. So because of this, he actually gets to be his own character kinda and be in the actual plots of some of the episodes. He's just a really shitty character. Junior Claptrap also of course likes to eat a lot, just like any other Claptrap.
Fair,
But what's
fair.
different about him is that he wears dentures. And whenever he's working for someone and he becomes a little too annoying by eating random garbage, they usually take away his dentures so he can no longer eat stuff, leaving him to starve.
Damn, that's fucked up. That's extra fucked up. They got this man on. They just take away his dentures. Does that mean he's a freaking old man? He's just like a very small old guy. Reminds you of anyone? I don't think so.
Now the final Kremling from the cartoon universe, Crushy. This one is really weird. He's not from the actual DKC cartoon like the others. Instead, he's from that really weird French spin-off of it, Donkey Kong
Joy? Joey? Make up your mind, Yuki.
Planet. If you don't remember, it's that show where you can see Donkey Kong drinking beer and Funky Kong being sexist. Anyway, back to Crushy.
Donkey Kong is sexist, and he is a drinker. The other one's the sexist. Oh goodness. No, you haven't made up your mind? Okay. I can't tell you what to do.
Where you can see Donkey Kong drinking beer and Funky Kong
Funky to shout, I tell you, women at the wheel more like death at the corner. God damn. Alright, Funky, relax. Funky Kong is not fucking with this.
being sexist. Anyway, back to Crushy. He's one of the drippiest Kremlings I've ever seen. You can just tell he's young, hip, and relatable. DK Planet's website described him as a slightly goofy character, but it's also said that he shouldn't be messed with because of his hard teeth and jaw of steel. But when I look at Crushy, I don't notice any teeth. So either they're lying or his teeth are retractable, kinda like Diddy Kong. Here's a picture of his head. At this point, it's really hard to follow up
What's
such
the picture of
developed
his head
Kremlings
for?
like the ones from the DK cartoon, because all I really have left is shit like the Cutlass, dude who holds a sword named after his sword, both okay, and then there's a blue one of those, but now he rides a roller coaster. So you know what that means, man. It's speedrun time. That part where I go through the remaining characters really fast because I want to actually upload again. Let's get straight into it. In DKC2, we got the Kaboings. These guys have 2 peg legs and are forced to bounce around for eternity. DKC3 variant Recoil. This one is just Tigger from Winnie the Pooh. Coin, this goblin who has a bucket on his head. He uses a trash can as a shield and protects a DK coin. Then we have his official cousin, Coin Dozer. It's said to be a part of the Coin Dozer clan. They are just purple coins who run at you. Kosha is a Kremling with a giant club. His name means club.
Little guy,
There's also a
big
giant
club.
Kosha.
Love
His
it.
nickname is Giant Viking Kremling.
A giant Viking Kremlin. It's not even okay. It's got a lot of oomph to that title, but
Crockhead, that's just a crocodile. Crook, Kremling Hook. Kongazuma, a Kremling statue that can move and fight Donkey Kong. He's named after some Aztec ruler. I called this one from earlier Spyro, but this is actually Spyro. This is a critter that turns into a dragon through the power of a crystal banana. Kerosene is a huge Kremling that breathes fire. He only appeared in the Game Boy port of DKC2. Cuffin Clout, sometimes called the Kremling
crackhead. Maybe that's why he's in the water. He doesn't want to be seen.
Twins. They are just 2 beefy-ass crocodiles. Kremling Cop, this Kremling who's nice and dressed, and a cop, as you could probably fucking guess. This is a robotic critter from Mario Strikers. This is a robotic critter from Donkey Kong 64. This is a critter, but he's a skeleton. Holy shit, this is a critter wearing a blanket. This is
a ghost. It's literally just a blanket. No, that's funny. I like that guy. That guy's pretty cool.
a critter riding a minecart. This is a critter riding a boat. This is a critter wearing a mushroom outfit. This is a literal reticle. There's apparently a Kremling behind this gun, and his name is Croc. We never see him, though, just the reticle. So this reticle has a fucking name.
Damn.
And it appeared in 2 games. And then a cardboard cutout of King K. Rool. Jesus Christ, man. That's every single Kremling ever created known to man. And to be honest, I'm kind of impressed. I'm not pissed as much as I usually am at the end of these videos. Because even though there were some shitters, I don't think I ever found myself bored looking at a Kremling. Something about these guys really stood out to me. I feel like these guys were really made with a lot of love, and even if they're silly or goofy, I feel like that was always on purpose. These guys were never supposed to be taken seriously. Even their leader is a fucking joke, but that was the point. They are silly, they are dumb, but god, do I kinda love them for it. I think they stayed fun because they stopped making variants at a good time, compared to Goombas and Shy Guys where we'll always get more of because there's a new Mario game every 2 years. I don't think we need more Kremlings. We have a lot, you know what I mean? But we don't have so much to the point where they're boring to look at. I would love to see these guys show up again someday though. Johnny Blastoff sure missed out by not having these guys. But because of their appearance in the Donkey Kong series, we all got to experience the magic of these dumb little reptiles. If you're a Kong, you're family. If you're a Kremling, you're a dumbass. But that's why we love you. Thank you for watching.
That was honestly a very, very, very sweet little video. You know, I think it was sweet. It was very, very much. Clearly, the guy had fun making the damn thing. Can't argue otherwise. And you're. What's wrong, Yuki? Why you dried up like a raisin? What's wrong? Why is the elf a raisin? My tummy grumbling now. Darn. 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 Bah. Cuz fair enough. I always say fair enough. I need to learn something new to say other than fair enough. Eat? I will. In 20 minutes, get something to eat, prepare something to eat. Fair enough. Well, that's not how you spell that. But you tried. So I'm happy that you actually tried. Congratulations. And then Bokura, and then Bokura. Of course, Yuki. Worry not, the promise shall be kept, as promised. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a lot of cracking bones. My arms did that. It went click, 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 like one at a time. It was like shoulder, shoulder, elbow, elbow. It was actually a little funny. A little humorous, one could say. And by one, I mean I. I am the only one who says that it is humorous. So therefore, it is true, because I said so. And if I say things are the way they are, then they are. You know what I mean? If you say something, it's right. No, if I say something, it's correct because it's me saying it. If you say it, it's usually an insult towards me. Typically. You don't get to decide that you're correct. I get to decide that I'm correct, though, because I'm cool and awesome and filled with joy and whimsy. Theoretically. I don't know what I'll do for the next 20 minutes. What is there to talk about? Let me look around just to see if there's anything to talk about for these next 20 minutes. No? What do you mean, no? What did I do for you to deny me my righteous word? What? Raising the One Piece Straw Hats flag is now considered a crime of treason and an attempt to divide the nation in Indonesia. What the hell is going on there? What the fuck does that mean? How did they get to that point? Can we get much higher? I'm sorry. There's nothing interesting online so far from what I see. Let me reload YouTube real quick, because usually I see a thumbnail. We cannot, you are never getting high. Listen, you can just go to, what's that one European nation that's like in the continent and is small? The one that has Amsterdam in it. Isn't that the place everyone goes to get high or something like that? I don't know where that one is. I don't know if it's Denmark or... No, it's not Denmark. Is it maybe it's the Netherlands? I don't remember. I really don't. My geography is not good at the moment. Beefsteak mushroom. That's a big mushroom. See, anything else? Anything else? Why's my head itchy? Scratch, scratch, scratch away, scratch at things. You remember that when, like, scratch, what do you call them? Like the little pictures you would get, and you would need to scratch the thing off the picture to know what you got. It's like a card, I think. Unless I'm misremembering. I feel like I know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm actually going insane. It would not be unusual. But Yali has gone insane before. Damn, my tummy really rumbling. This motherfucker hungry. This motherfucker a little impatient. Alright, stomach, relax. Oh yeah, I forgot about this song. This song exists. Or not even a song. A video with many a song. Have I been talking a little bit quietly? Sorry. I was just being myself. Melted chocolate in a car. That's a specific flavor, I tell ya. And you gotta trust me on this. RAR XD, as the kids used to say. You like listening to me talk? I am glad for it, even if I randomly talk about odd things. Like card melted chocolate and it having a specific flavor. You know what else has a very specific flavor? Warm Coca-Cola that's been left out for a while. That's also, like, I'm imagining it like it's in the bottle and you left it in your car, and then you, like, take it out after realizing it's been there for like 7 hours, and it's like, oh, this tastes a little It tastes different. Not bad, but it tastes different. Hmm. You can see that? I'm glad it was easy to understand. I don't know why I'm thinking about like car heat flavored things. It's just like it's less carbonated. Like less carbonated you like less carbonated Sprite too. Yeah, I've had like the same thing. And it's not bad actually. Like soda that's not carbonated, kind of good. It feels like you're drinking juice. At least that's what it feels like to me. Like you're drinking juice. A very very sweet juice, but like just kind of what it tastes like. It's just or it feels like you're drinking, I should say, not taste inherently, but like feels like you're drinking juice instead of soda. This is very peculiar since it doesn't happen often. What is this song? When does it start? Right there? I'll just start it off right there, why not? Me when I click a thing and it double clicks for no reason. You know what I haven't had in a while? Macaroni and cheese. I've not had like we had two little boxes of macaroni and cheese, but they were expired when I pulled them out to try and see if I could cook up something. That was sad. It was like the middle of the night too, and I was like, "Damn, I'm hungry." And then I just look at the boxes, look for the expiration date, and it's expired, and that hurt my soul a little. That hurt my soul. You'd cook me, you'd cook me carbonara if you could. Carbonara? What is carbonara? I'm gonna look that up. In the right there. Bow, 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 bow. Carbonara. Is that? Did we talk about this once? I feel like we talked about this once. Carbonara. Maybe. It's a pasta. Yeah, pasta. It looks pretty tasty. Kind of looks like pasta with like. Well, I guess this is like different kinds of carbonara. Carbonara. Some of them have like bacon in there. There's one with an egg for some reason. One has mushrooms. Overall, just looks kind of tasty. You can't go wrong with pasta. Can't go wrong. At least in my humble opinion. It's like lasagna. I love lasagna. 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 Hmm. Not the bitch lasagna. I forgot that song existed. Bitch lasagna. Bitch lasagna. It's been a while since I've had lasagna now that I think on it. Not too long, but a while. Like a little while. A little itty bitty while. Ay, ay, ay. I don't know if I should go for a second green tea today. Maybe it's just my normal yawningness, but I feel like a slightly bit tired, more than usual. Whatever. If I get sleepy, I'll just push through it like I always do. Man, having like an axe would be kind of cool. Hmm. What the hell is this AMV? Freaking, we can reschedule if we want. No, no, no. I'm just, we're still gonna play. Don't worry about it. My little head is just like making me yawn more. I'm looking at like a video that's just called Signalis AMV. She will never caramel dancing with us again. What is this even about? I'll look at it later. Ooh, I like this song too. Dun, 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 dun. You know, I've forgotten the weight of a brick. I don't remember how the feeling like of the weight of a brick is. I need to go pick one up. I don't know where to get one though. What in the world is that? Oh, that's that person. Painting din dun dun. Just giving a quick scroll through Twitter real quick. See if there's anything else there. Not really. Not really. Not really. This song makes me want to learn how to play a guitar. It's a nice song. I like it. It's very soft. I always like just instrumentals. I've always been a fan of like instrument music. If that makes any amount of sense. I don't know what the hell, like how to describe it, but just like if a song's got a good set of just like acoustic instruments, I'm like, hell yeah. There we go. That's the word I was looking for, acoustic. It's like every song has instruments. What am I talking about? But I meant like acoustic instruments. You're acoustic? Ah, Yuki. Acousticism. I don't know what I'll do for tomorrow. I could play a Nom Nom Nami game. I got like two of those, like, sequestered away, so I could play one of them. That's probably what I'll do tomorrow. That seems like a good idea. What in the world is this? Oh, that. Anyhow, I think I'll end stream just a tad bit early today. By that I mean like 5 minutes, so that I can go get my food, eat up, do what I gotta do. Nom nom? No way, nom nom? Yes, nom nom. Nom nom, Yuki, why are you so surprised? What's the surprise for? Why are you so surprised? Oh my god. I am slightly confused. I guess you're just excited. That's okay. You can be excited. Continue being excited. Excitement is good. Cause remember Nom Nom? Hmm. Alrighty then. I would pat you on the head and just be like, sure, if I could. But I shall bid thee farewell for today. I hope you and everyone else has a great rest of your mornings, afternoons, evenings, and nights, whenever and wherever you are. May the gods bless you, and may the stars shine in your honor. And I shall see you all in the next one. Bye bye.